of the Wild Boys organization slash LLC.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Let's look, hold on. Let's look to the past.
Okay.
So, how did you start the org? How did it come to be?
How did I start the org? Well, funny enough, one day I was sitting there with a group of friends at this place called Twin Peaks, and one of my friends mentioned Jinxie, and I was like, Jinxie, who the fuck is that? So they pulled up his Twitch, and we were watching him, and he said something about like a $50,000 like game. I was like, what? There's no way. So me going into Discord and going around, I went through the main R6 server on Discord, and then I got recruited by forgot what org it was, but some small org where me, Knight, and Toxic, or when we get farther into the podcast, they'll become relevant, recruited me to go play with them. Well, we joined this org together, and we were sitting there, and I was like, oh, okay. Learning on how leagues work, on who runs things. I was like, I want to do this. So one day I was like, yo, Knight, Toxic, if I make an organization, will you guys join? And they were like, hell yeah. And now that's the beginning of Wild Boys right there.
How many teams do you have in the beginning?
Okay, so in the very beginning of Wild Boys, I didn't understand on how necessarily comp worked. I thought as if I get 5 players, I have a team. I didn't understand that you had to have the best of the best, or they all had
Well, a little bit of console issues aside, what is going on my BO3 overlay? Hold on. Hold on, what Discord are we in? What call? I'm trying to think. We're just in a private one, right? Yeah, okay. I'm literally just trying to scrap something together real quick. Gotti, Discord. Transition. There we go. You can be heard, I think. Then I gotta make a post like immediately because I entirely forgot.
You gotta switch to spectator real quick.
Oh, shit, my bad. Discord. Timings are killing me. I'm ready to go when you are.
We're just waiting on the 5th.
Hmm. Like I've nobody casts in friggin' console, not console, champions. I was the last caster and I haven't cast since the 11th. Damn. Voltage. Well, I'm be honest, it's a little surprising that in the, what, 11 days since I've cast, or sorry, 10 days since I've casted, I was the last caster. There has been nothing in between. That is a little sad, I'm gonna say. Well, I gotta
cast on console that much.
I try to stay in the circuit because this is where I started out, so I feel like I owe it, but I mean, I'd hate, but you can pull in a bag on fucking, not console, PC. Anyways, going into the game more accurately, we see Voltage. Should be a relatively interesting game. Zave, who I'll admit I think have a little bit less expectations coming into this, but you do have the top and arguably most underrated entry of Cells.
Yeah, I feel like Zave have Deanway and Cells, which are the good duo, but the rest of the team is slacking. Where about Voltage is just a strong 5-man roster right now.
I mean, I'd certainly admit that they are a very, very consistent 5, and I think we're going to see that today. However, I do think it's going to come down to these more role players here between the teams, where I think that we need to see a big step up here from people like Dean, people like Superior, people like Vante, who maybe don't have as much proven, but can certainly, we've seen those flashes of really good excellence.
Yeah, like Metro Aerial, he could go 1-8 one game, but he could go 12-2 the next game.
Yeah.
Hopefully, goes 12-2 because I'm kind of the owner of Voltage right now.
Well, I think that the biggest thing to look towards is just how are these teams going to handle it.
Yeah, we got the Mira on mini bar.
Holy crap. I entirely forgot about that. Sorry. Something else. Overall, though, I think just this game, you need to be very careful. You can't afford to really let any big gaps, fall away from you. I think with either of these teams, if they get that chance, they're going to swipe something
Push
right
with
up.
the first pick. Dean got distracted by the drone and pushes, walks up and swings Dean on the craziest angle.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a bit of a crazy swing, but you need what you can get. Overall, though, I think this is arguably one of my favorite matchups for this round one, and one that I'd argue could very well be a much better matchup here. If I saw this in quarterfinals, I would not complain. See a trade come out from Push and Dala. Pretty important one there to just try to keep the gap. If you're Voltage, you don't want to afford
The thing
to lose
about
it.
Dean being first pick is he could actually organize his team and positioning wise because he is the IGL, so him being gone first pick is not that bad after all.
I mean, it could certainly have a bit of a ripple effect, I'll give you that, but Cell is catching a bit of a freebie there as Trell himself didn't even know what was going on. And I think that's going to be a huge one there. It ties them back up, and now we can see all of Zave start to fall back into positions and play the trade game behind their Miras, behind their pretty lengthy and aggressive setup here.
Yeah, Voltage has struggled on getting util off the drum and Shrine Door, which is not really that good, I should be able to clear that out easily.
You'd certainly
Gavin
hope for
goes
more.
down, going with that.
Once again, though, I think we're going to see that Cells is going to be the big shining point of this team, and arguably one of the better players in this match, in my opinion. By stats, one of the best entries in Champions, and he's seeming to prove it today with a triple to start. Finally taken down by Comb, but it's a 2v1 here. It should be the end of the road if you're Voltage. Second round, not going your direction.
You can still win this. He has 40 seconds.
Yeah, but I think trying to win a trade-out battle against someone like Superior and Vante, a duo that's known to be smart. They're not known to give up that
Zave
much.
do have good positioning right now.
You gotta be very careful in a situation like this, and you can't really afford to even go on a drone or anything, as they will gladly hunt you down. All you need to do is not swing here. Just don't do anything stupid. And in your hand, you will gladly grasp the first round as Superior finishes off Cone.
Do you think this map is defender-sided or attacker-sided?
I generally have seen this become more attacker-sided than not. However, that is for PC only. Console is very weird. This is where it's polarizing, is what I'd say, especially on console, where we will see halves of 4-2 very consistently, but not on one side. I've seen attacking and defense dominate halves here, and I think that that's a big difference between the two. Is I think the run and gun meta that the defense usually plays with and plays against, it just makes it very different, is the word I'd say.
Yeah, I think it's just based on chemistry, honestly.
I mean, certainly, a map like this can be very hard to play correctly. There's a lot of advanced calls. There's a lot that can go wrong in such a short amount of time, and I think that having that top chemistry is certainly a great way to give yourself consistent wins on this map. We see that with some of the best teams. 5.2, 907, even Obey, all are great on this map. Not because they are necessarily the better strategists, but because they know each other so well, and they can trust each other to make those plays. I don't have my advanced stats pulled up.
Looks like it's going to be an exhibition side over.
That does look like to be the plan.
Nobody's get office wall or house wall, which is not ideal.
No, certainly not. I think there's a lot that needs to be done, and I mean, it would not put it past someone like Push to possibly find a gap here and maybe get 2 or 3 kills early on, but he can be very streaky at times, and I think that's one of his biggest gripes.
Yeah, right now, Low Dollar and Cells are very isolated from the rest of the team. I don't really like that. Vontae is actually rotating to Shrine. You got house wall open, Sophia getting up, open up office wall. Push caught the Dollar off guard. Injured. Now he has to worry about Superior Boat and Geisha. Cells rotated out from below.
There we go. Stats are now pulled up. I can finally, I think, give numbers out.
We got Dean on the shield.
Pretty amazing player on that DP shield, but instead of that, being known for playing it relatively aggressively, he has to fall off here, but apparently they had a plan as Cells finds a big one there, trying to lower the gap a little bit more, bring it back, but with a minute 30 left and a lot of sight being kind of close to falling apart, all it could take is, you know, one good aggression here from Comb here, Trell, any of these players. All they have to do, I think, is just punch in really hard, and we can see the entirety of sight fall apart pretty quickly here.
Yeah, right now positioning for Zave is not that good. I don't like where Warden is right now.
Superior is certainly holding a bit of a risky angle here, hoping to catch someone on the down low, but it's a lot you got to do. I did not get to see the Make-Wish game. I wish I did. I don't think it's even played yet, actually. It'll be on the list, but Dean essentially caught in the middle of 4 different bodies.
They have to double up on Dean here.
Everything's around him, and he might not catch anything, but Cells at least keeps it close. But you got to have more than one superstar player. You got to have more than one man, but maybe we can see him Captain America this round to a win. As time is winding down here, and if he makes a big move on this post plant, he could certainly cause some chaos. Superior opts to get chip in a little bit here. Big whiff though.
Superior Boat whiff. Come on top black, bonus 1 karaoke.
And he cannot. I think that's the big issue right now, is we're just seeing that there isn't much to support Cells right now. Where we're seeing him going to be able to probably drop 10, 15 a map, and we're just not seeing the same level of play from anyone else right now.
Yeah, strat-wise, I don't think either team is doing well. It's just Voltage has just better aim right now.
I'd agree in general, and I think that you can't have one outlier like Cells, and then the rest of the team isn't really there to back it up. You're going to need more, and we're going to need to see a lot more, I think, from Zave if they want to pull this one out and have at least an even half.
Yeah. I mean, Deanway's not bad, but the thing about Zave right now, Deanway and Cells are coming back from a break. Cells was gone for a week. Deanway was doing his military duty.
I think
now they're back.
Yeah, I think that we're going to see a bit of a return to their roots here. I don't think we're going to want to see them branch out as a team. I think they're going to be very reserved. We're going to see them play like their usual play styles. For Cells, you're going to expect those aggressive angles at times. He sees a flank, he sees a gap, he's going to go for it. I think he's going to settle in well. Dean is a little bit more unsure. He generally plays very flexible within these games, where he can kind of move in his, move between any position that's needed, but just coming back after quite a big break, it's a lot to ask for from a guy to try to keep that level of flexibility.
I mean, he's already doing enough with IGLing, but
10 seconds to insertion.
I think
he make a little bit more impact on the kills, on the scoreboard, he would definitely help Cells.
I think we need to either see a big impact from him or Vontae here in these next rounds, as one of these supports really need to show out here and finally put in some big effort and kills. Even one or two picks from any of those two would be a big help to give Cells a little bit more space to work with, make him not feel as targeted, and not have to have him be the entirety of the team's kind of driving force right now.
I like what Voltage is doing right now. They're taking it like they're taking upstairs T. They're gonna play it slow. They're gonna have less aggression on them from the office side. A little bit more in T.
I mean, sometimes I think that's a great way to play here, is if you see a team like Zave, who can generally do very well if you try to aggress onto them too fast, take it slow. Force the round to kind of grind to a bit of a halt here and just play your very safe, passive style of Siege. I think generally it'd be a bit
forcing
odd.
to rotate out a little bit from Geisha.
Gives you a little bit of space here if you are Voltage to maybe go in here. But there's still a lot you gotta do, and
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
we are seeing at least some work get done, even with the mutes there.
Castle's really helping, wasting time against Voltage right here. Cells goes down against Push.
Pretty bad first
Push
pick
is
to
a
lose.
really good player.
Yeah, I think losing though the Cells there, you're gonna have to see a lot more now. There isn't, you know, your top player to rely on. You're gonna have to see these flexes, these supports, really do better here. I think that's the big thing is, can we see that? Dean has a relatively great angle from below, but I don't think that's going to push the needle here. You're going to have to see a better play from Zave. Maybe an aggress onto site. Just something here to, I think, really give that team some hope here.
Right now, Voltage need to communicate, call out the execute what they want to do right now. I think they're doing that right now. I think Push is going to take leadership or Metro Aerial right now. Let's see what they're going to do. Metro Aerial, about to jump in Geisha.
There's a lot you certainly can do in this situation. I think as long as you make sure that clock is in mind, you make sure you realize that you do not have unlimited time here, this should be a really great execute from Voltage here, as they have
Good call
almost
on the
all
guy
the
bathroom
verticality
right
they
now.
push. Catch out, Superior, and in a 5v3, once again, you need to see a big performance from Dean or Vante. You need to see your big players show up. See the soft support player
Metro
coming
Aerial
back.
might be able to get Dean. Does, but Dollar and Monte left. Opa Restaurant both get picked off.
So far, great start for Voltage. I feel like they're just moving at a very good pace here, and we're seeing that. We've seen them kind of play a little bit more aggressive at times, slow down a little bit more when they need to, and we're seeing just a lot of ability to flex around how the team is playing.
Yeah. Right now, Trell is a mute pickup, so the chemistry is not there for Voltage.
I think that
whoever
sometimes-
clears on break.
Despite new pickups, despite what it can be, I think, especially when you're on a winning so far half like this, that's already great enough that I think we can at minimum see some good performances from here.
Yeah. I think Voltage is going to pick it up when they switch to defense, because attack is very mainly chemistry based. For attack, you need chemistry to win rounds, and right now Voltage doesn't really have it after the BO1 we just played. But
Certainly, I mean, I think everything about this game just you have to play it carefully if you're either side. You don't want to let too many rounds slip. You don't want to give, you know, Zave any big hope here. You want to hopefully crush it down in that first map and go into that second one looking strong.
I think
Overall-
Zave, if they bring a Clash, I think they can really slow down Voltage and maybe get a few rounds, because Clash is very underused in console for some reason, even though she's one of the best operators in the game.
It's really just sometimes how hard it is to play a shield on console, and it doesn't really fit the less aggressive style of siege we generally see from players.
Yeah.
We will
But I
see
think
a
the
lot
castle
of.
is going to do his job, slow it down.
I mean, you'll certainly see a lot of the best teams are great shield players. 907 has a great shield player, and in fact, they have quite a few. You see Zemphi generally playing a great shield on the side of 5.2. You're seeing even teams like Obey are genuinely sometimes playing around with the Blitz and the Blackbeard here and there. I think that's a big thing for a lot of the top teams, is you'll realize once they really get used to those shields and how much space they can provide for your team, it's almost a mainstay at that point. Cells putting on the pressure here,
Kevin
but
walking in.
takes those free shots and stops to give it up here. Wants to keep his body alive. Not
Looks
too
like
much.
they gave up Drone and Dragon.
Not too much more than the space here, so I think you're certainly hoping for an opening pick if you are the side of Voltage, but you still got a lot of time here. You still have almost 2 full minutes on the clock to really work around with.
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
They got the mute below, ready for a C4.
Once again, I just think that you have to be very careful if you're going for an execute like this. We're seeing, despite the round count, we still know Zave is great at holding these long, complex crosses at times, and you can catch people, you know, caught out on that. Instead, you see one pick gone from Vante. Comb, however, gets cells there. Great trade for them, and Start to see a lot more space being taken Dragon side. Looks like the execute is
Minute
moving
left.
over their heads, and
Attackers recovered.
with
Still a lot of
diffuser,
time. Probably
maybe
taking the one
the-
with Dollar. Dollar dead.
see Ariel grab a big one. there
4v1
for-
on site. Mew walking on post right now. Trell knows. Trell swings. Trell gets the pick. Last one's Dean. Behind the bar in office. Swing, push. Push dead.
I mean, you still at least have a 2v1 here. There's something you can come out of this and win if you are Voltage, but you cannot afford to give him another pick here. You cannot give Dean a 1v1. Flashes are probably
how
going to
well
help,
they
but
communicate.
a missed flash could certainly cause some issues. He's being closed in on. He is being pinned down. You grab one, but you need to be perfect here. Cone makes sure we don't see a big
takes them off.
round. Guarantees you a very advantageous half here and possibly a 5-1 if you can close it out well. I think Zave can certainly win this one out, but we just need to see more from the other players. You cannot rely on one. And within that, I think we're seeing Cells be contained at a relatively good point right now from Voltage. They're able to deal with him much better than I think we expected,
Attackers need to
which I think is really going to help them long term. If they can just deal with that roam that he can bring, deal with that aggression in just straight better aiming.
Yeah. Four two wouldn't be bad for Zave, but I think Voltage could get this round. They might go for the switch, might not.
If they
No
get the
shield this
5,
time.
yeah, if they get the 5-1 here, it would be not impossible, as we've seen quite a bit of crazy comebacks, but it's not an easy thing to come back to, even on a map that can be as polarizing as Skyscraper here. And I think that we've seen crazier things from Zave here to if they wanted to come back, 5-4 rounds. But you're just going to need to see, I think, a side of Zave that we haven't seen so far, at least in this match.
Yeah, Zave is playing heavy off his side right now. Oh, never mind. Dean is rotating back to site.
Overall, I think that we're going to see a relatively light roam. 2 players here, and that does maybe look heavy, but what we generally see from Zave is a very commonly placed fall off. They're fine with wasting 30 seconds. So far, that hasn't worked out today, but generally that strategy on
Yeah.
Skyscraper works well for him.
I think the thing about console is they're very repetitive. They always do the same thing. I think teams need to learn how to switch it up. I've been trying to teach my team to switch it up, but sometimes you don't need to.
It doesn't seem to matter, though, as we're seeing Voltage grab that pretty powerful first pick here, and you lose your Omai, which is a lot of regenerative, utility that you'd be glad to have, but Cells grabs push, and losing the Capito certainly hurts your offense here. The execute is no longer going to be as strong as you'd hope, but you can still clear a lot of utility here, and you still have at least some flashes on the board to work with.
Trell and minibar. Trying about to take house.
I think the next big obstacle here for the side of Voltage is just how fast can they clear this Shrine DP shield and get entire control of Dragon. It generally takes a lot of time, but if they have a well-placed Flores here, it could certainly be a big, big deal. And Comb, great on the Flores there, gets the deployable shield, forces Dollar to fall back, and great efficiency there. Efficiency there is what could take sometimes 25, 45 seconds to clear. It was done in a matter of maybe 15.
It's like Gavin's gonna get off. Or calling your back and get off Geisha. Might jump in Terrence here, doubling up with Trell.
It certainly wouldn't surprise me, but you just need to be very, very, very careful. Because once again, we're seeing this clock wind down, and we've seen great executes from them with limited time, but it's so risky to play like that. It's so risky to leave so much up to so little time.
Problem with Voltage right now, they only have 1 drone left. They're using Flores drones and Twitch drones to drone out.
Yeah, I mean,
You know
you're
where
not
Low
gonna-
Dollar is at.
that at least gives you something, but you don't have a lot of utility to work with here, and I think once again, this can be the bigger issue, is you still have at least something to work with. However, Vontae, bad
Turbo loses
trade
1.
shots, and the numbers are going to stay perfect.
Calling bad. Comb swing
Bounce.
striker.
I see a much better play from Cells here. Is once again, he's going to kind of have to captain this team to a win. His best hope here
know
is see if he
that's
can try to
what
stop
probably
it from
do
below. but it's all going to be up to a bit of a guess game as he doesn't really know where. This plan looks like it's going to get off, and this all the
Gavin above swing
guarantees
cells.
a 5-1 half.
Gavin with a big round, big 3K.
I mean, we've seen crazier things to come back from, but Voltage on an amazing half here, and most of what they need here is done. They can grab a couple of cleanup rounds or even shield pushes if they're lucky. And this one looks almost unwinnable for Zave unless we see essentially a whole second win for the team. Zave might generally have what I think was expected to be a better roster going in. We just haven't seen that, though. We haven't really seen the same entries we normally do from Zave. We haven't seen the power and the true superstar factor from someone like Zells. I think we're seeing that the roster of Voltage right now is just an all-around better team. Yes, you're going to have players with better peaks. You're going to have Zells who is still going to be aggressive even when he's down. But Voltage, I think, overall is playing a bit of a roster where they don't need the superstar because they have 5 just good players.
5 very good players.
Sometimes, you don't need your Zemphys, you don't need your Andy's terms, Adexis. You can just work off of what you have here, and what is, to be fair, an amazing roster, I think.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they
Yeah, when I make lineup, I'm struggling who to put on entry, who to put on support, because everybody's really good, So sometimes I just put all of them on entry. I just say, fuck it, do you, because most of the times they could just win games while gunning out. Sometimes they need to play more strategic. Oh, I just got a
Strategic.
strategic game plan. Sometimes they just need to play off each other,
Yeah, the logos are flipped. I can't fix that. I can't change it right now, and for whatever reason, when I tried to flip it with a command, it has been a little bit laggy. I prefer we had the logos a little bit wrong than compared to entirely weird. It is what it is, though.
So Gavin's gonna try to go for a spawn peek. We see Vontae with the Monty.
I mean, I don't think that's the biggest surprise here. Vontae is, I think, one of the most consistent shield players we even have in the entirety of our 6 comp. He's done it for a while. We know how he's going to play, and he's great at taking the space with a shield, but I don't think that alone here is going to win 5 rounds.
Come downstairs and deliver.
Overall, you do see a relatively large roam presence, and I think it's built in this way because it's almost unintentional, but it's generally in the form of a triangle. It's not super common, but you will see it sometimes, and a lot of T3 teams will do it purposefully, where you have 2 players that'll generally play close enough to each other to trade, and one that can play far away to fall back into the line. This generally is more common on maps like Layer, where those hallways can be a little bit more linear, but it's not.
For Monty. Already wasting no time. They don't need to hold office no more.
That Goyo should do all they need, and TK, a little bit unexpected here. I'm assuming because of just a misfire, but the way it looks, that looks much more like a purposeful one.
Probably a troll. Probably just rage bait push. I know Push is gonna be mad if they lose this round, but
I mean, you're
got
down
Dean
in
and Kitchen right now. Rest of the 4 in exhibition office side. Monty's really alone right now. Took damage to Goya fire.
He is really going to need to take the space here. He's going to have to essentially be a bit of a battering ram for his team to get himself a little bit more space. I think the first big push they can have for at least an execute, because so far it's been too linear and we haven't seen a lot of space taken. However, Dean grabs Trell there. At least a little bit of work being done. Overall, numbers aren't awful, but Comb here might be able to tie it back up if he just holds the right angle. Shows some aggression.
Aggressive on the shrine door.
at least get some damage, but I don't really think he's going to find one here. It's a bit unlikely, but as I say,
Slides. Big pick.
time's going to wind down here. You're at least finding a couple players, but you need to kill at least Aerial
Oh,
here.
walking drum door.
He's
Want
going to be able
go
to
for the
C4
plants.
you. You cannot afford to lose the C4 here. And you don't have anything ready for the plant here. You might be able to grab it in the last second, but instead, we're going to see a match point.
With the big C4. This is what I'm talking about. Tranny might go negative sometimes, might come up big. And he might cope a lot. But he does make big plays.
Hey, we're at least seeing something from him, and I think that if you are... Whoa.
If I'm being honest, I do see Voltage closing out the game here in this round.
Defenders, protect your bombs.
Unless something unexpected happens.
I mean, there's always a chance, but generally you would not see a 5-round comeback. I think overall, Voltage obviously looks like a much stronger team, but a lot of these rounds have been relatively close here, and I think it just comes out to we're seeing just slightly better trades, slightly better entry, and
Locate a bomb and defuse it.
when all those small things add up, we're seeing a team that looks much better, to be fair. Whoa.
Looks like Zave is going to do a karaoke over, so this is jumping in karaoke.
Why did everyone's ping just
You
spike
got
up?
Vontae and Dalla on black.
It is,
Or the servers.
apparently my server is too at 500 ping. Jeez, folks. Not looking good on the ping here, and
Nobody playing drum right now. Let's see if they're saying anything in that chat. Zave not really doing anything, not that much pressure except for on Shrine Door.
I mean,
Now
I think
Terrence
that
window.
it can certainly work to go this slow, but this might be too slow here as you are getting some pressure, yes, but the time being wasted before you get any real start onto the site is so much here.
Seems like Blackbeard's about to jump in sight window. Gavin might be able to get the pick because the Goyo damage is going to knock the Blackbeard shield out the way.
It could certainly be that way, but it all really just depends here if he sees that Goyo. If he does, then you might certainly slow down the push here, and
Got
we just
Superior
need to see
Drone.
something. No hop-in yet. No real aggression even shown towards them, and it feels like Voltage haven't even really had to hold the site as it's just been given to them.
Putting it close. With the Grim, they might go for a rush here. Don't think they know there's a Goyo on the window yet.
That might be the biggest issue
Tanks
so
the
far.
Goyo in sight. He's alone though.
A lot looking towards you, and you do at least have control of A-bomb. Almost all by yourself, to be fair, but you turn the wrong way. Bad catch is a freebie, and time is looking more and more precarious as you don't really have that much
Two
control.
on breach. Three on breach now, one on window. Looks like they're just gonna walk in breach here.
It's an option, but I just don't think the odds are looking that good right now for Zave. They might have an even number count, but I think the pressure they would hope to have at this point isn't there right now.
They do have Dean below. Do they know he's below? Metro Aerial does. Dollar jumps in sight. Picks off Gavin. Dean hops out going to main breach. Up to Coma and Metro Aerial. Do they know Dalla is in sight?
And
A2
to his
is last two on
yes,
breach.
You have a 2v1 here if you're Comb. You
1v2
certainly
clutch to mid Comb. This is a free pick if he just wants to rotate.
Except they don't think he's going to catch in time, and we at least see Zave hang on for a little bit more here. The chat's prediction is certainly looking more and more likely. 7-2. Could it happen? Certainly. Do I expect it here? Honestly, no. I think that we're going to see at least a little bit of a resurgence from Zave here, and more what I'd call a second wind, is I think that we're still going to see Voltage close it out, but I think give them a run for their
Yeah,
money.
I think Voltage is just taking Zave very lightly, just swinging, losing bodies.
I think we're
I
going to
think
see.
they're going to lock in this round.
Defenders, protect your
I think
bombs.
it's going to take a much bigger shock. I think once we see a 7-4, I think is where we're really going to see a big change. But it would not surprise me if we end this at 7-3, and we see Zave looking relatively down coming to that.
Knowing
second match.
push, I think knowing push, he is locked in right now. After he loses a round, he just locks in instantly. He starts screaming, which is completely passionate, and I love it. But some people might see it as mental jogging, which I don't.
I think the big issue right now is
10 seconds.
I don't think he's the big, changing factor here. He's 4-7. We're not seeing the same performance from him we usually do, and unless we see the players of Comb, more players step up, it could certainly, be possible to see 2, 3, 4 rounds here, get on the board here before there's any real stop, or at least effort here from the side of Voltage.
It's like they're gonna go for a karaoke side over. Hopefully they actually apply aggression here. Nobody playing drum for Voltage. Trial rotates through there.
Oh, we're seeing at least
Restaurant.
all the bodies start to encapsulate in, and it's very possible you see everything come in at once. His push is likely to be at least receiving a lot of that pressure on his side of Dragon. He at least has stuff to play behind, but
Charles hinge with the geisha wall and the drum door right now. Blackbird might push in after the Goy part. Flower goes off and get drum double off the geisha wall.
I mean, I certainly think that's the issue, is we're seeing a lot of work being put onto one man here for Trell, and it's possible you do something, but with Grimm's forcing you back, it looks like that space is going to be
Rotates
taken.
out freely. Gavin holding a long angle from sight onto geisha wall.
Despite that, we're still seeing Trell try to aggress here, try to find the first pick, and will not be him as he does it, as Dean finds it, and he gets damage. Dean grabs 2 here, as he seems to be the battering ram so far for Zave to at least keep this round moving on normal pace.
Drell and push trapped in sight.
Vante grabs 1, and Comb, kind of the man looking to be in the middle of it all, but he isn't in a great position to cause any chaos here. He might find 1, but traded out by Dean, and a 1v3 for bad, and you really, really, really need a big performance from him, but instead we see a wall bang,
Finishes it off.
and once again, I'm just saying, I think we're going to see more life from Zave as a bit of a second win. I know the team, I know how they play, and I think that you're giving them so much leeway. If you're Voltage right now, you need to lock in. But instead of that, we're going to see probably quite a few rounds go on the board, and I think a half that could have been very favorable and a very amazing, like 7-1, 7-2. We could very well see this become a 7-4, 7-5, and suddenly you might have won that game, but the momentum is not in your favor.
Yep. I think Voltage is going to try a different site here. They ban the Blackbird. They receive less aggression. Now, maybe more with the Monty. They bring the Blitz.
I think that's the issue, though, is you're going to see with a player like Vante, you cannot really afford to target ban him. If you don't like the Blackbeard, that's fine, but you can't afford to only ban for him because, it's like a Hydra. It's, as a Hydra once said, if you cut off one hand, 2 other will appear. And I think you're going to see that is unless you want to waste every single bit of your ban utility, you're never truly going to stop him from doing what he likes, which is playing the shields and taking space. You can maybe slow him down by taking away those aggressive ones, those blitzes, those Blackbeards, but you're never fully going to get rid of it. I think the ban is still a good one here to at least try to get rid of some of the pressure and slow it down a little bit, but I think you could have seen more value, in my opinion, from something like a Grim ban, something like maybe even a Blitz ban instead, as we're seeing, yes, Blackbeard is hard to beat, but you can at least out-aim him and you can at least keep your space. Blitz, there's a lot, you can just not do.
I feel like Blackbeard ban was more targeted for multiple sites. Grim, I think they have the feeling that Grim was only good for that one site. But hopefully Zave could prove that wrong.
I mean, it's not out of their capacity here, and I think that especially
Nobody's holding office or exhibition right now.
I think the bigger thing is we just need to see a big step up from Cells here if we want to see a team that's truly scary. Like Vontae getting picks, Dean getting picks is big. However, I don't know what he's looking at, and you catch damage at least, you get the down, you find a really big one there, and your entry immediately goes the way of your hard support player. Bit of an odd one, but you already have push on the ropes too, and what could have been a very, very great start has suddenly turned into a bit of a crash course into just bandaging up the wounds at this point if you are the side of Voltage. It's again, Cells
Push almost gets away, but Cells catches him.
Cells finds his first big pick in a while.
Metro Aerial playing a little bit more aggressive in drum right now.
I think he needs to in this situation. You're down, you know, a player here, and I think that you do not want to give a team like Zave advantage in execute. You would rather try to go aggressive and risk it here when you still have rounds to spare. Losing this
Zave going out for drones.
I mean, the intel is certainly not the issue here, as we're seeing Zave absolutely, what feels like, dominate so far the intel game. You find at least damage onto Cells with one of the smallest amounts of damage I've ever received. I've ever seen been received. If you're here, you're hoping you can finally catch Dean out.
Big pick from Aerial. Big pick from Comb. Can he get another one, Comb? Does he know he's in?
Apparently
he doesn't.
Not. Superior at least finds a big one to try to keep the rounds tied back up, and you need to obviously try to continue here. You need to try to show as much as you can before, you know, this match ends, or maybe push to overtime, but...
Cells rotating around to drum. Does Aerial know? I don't think so. He could probably catch Metro Aerial off guard here. Just misses his head, gets him after all.
Cells gets what feels like a freebie, and if you're bad here, you can certainly do something here. You have the pulse, but time is not on your side. You don't have the C4 to rely on here, and Grim's not going to make it easy either. If you're going to win this here, you're going to have to try to fight a direct take, and you're going to have the 1v1 against Cells, which is nearly impossible, and once again, it feels like the lack of respect taken by Volt to try to finish it out early now means I think you're giving a second win to a team that really, really shouldn't have had it. Could have been, you know, a 7-0, 7-1. Instead, we're going to see a half that you really aren't hoping for. You were hoping for so much more if you are Voltage, and now you're arguably on the ropes. You've lost 3 straight. There looks to be a very dominant team looking towards you. And for context, it feels like Zave were, at minimum, considered relative underdogs in terms of what people thought. They might have been statistically better, but it just feels like we've seen a much more consistent Voltage, and we're seeing a side of Voltage that isn't uncommon, where we're seeing them disrespect teams when they're up numbers and give up so many more rounds than they need to. We've seen this against multiple teams, and I think that's always been an issue with them right now is they play with, you know, their teams too much, and I think that it could certainly come back to bite them one day or another. I think if you're I think if you are the side of Zave, though, you certainly are happy with what you got out of this. You might lose this map, yeah, but you're going to come into that next map after that, you know, 2-minute map break so much stronger because you truly finish out and you looked like a good team. You're seeing your Cells, you know, really come into his own. You're seeing Vontae come back. You're seeing Dean. All of these players start to, you know, prove why they're on the team, why they're starters, why they're considered relatively good players. I think that's the big thing to look forward to, especially if we can start to see Cells, you know, come back to what we normally know him as, which is someone that is so dominant on entry, on that entry numbers. He's generally around the top 3, top 10. Champions, he's around a top 10. I think he's number 7, if I'm not mistaken. That is in D2 and D1 combined, as stats can get a little funky, but overall, he's one of
picking up 5 drones right now. Very good for the intel game.
I mean, yeah, you at least have drones to pick up, but I think it's really just going to come down to where do we see Vontae come in here.
What's this rotating to black here?
So again, it would not surprise me if they're all just waiting for that one moment, for that one little second where they go, and we see Trell go out first as Adala finds one of the first in what has been a relatively quiet game for him so far, but we've also seen other players go off, so it's not a big deal. See a lot of damage on the
Push
side of
tags
Vontae.
blitz.
Suddenly an impact is all you need to die, and that blitz is no longer as scary, as we could see Comb be the one to finish. We could see a lot of players here be the one to finish. Maybe if we see
2 Zave
Rooney-
players below right now. One's about to walk up black here.
all within timings here is you do at least have what looks to be a very strong execute, and they might not know
3
it, but I
black
think
balcony,
that
1 on black.
Zave certainly
Anyway, all the
has
way
the
in
pressure and power
first.
here to break through and get a big round. Try to get so close to overtime here. Seeing
It's
a
gonna be
missed
hard to
impact.
push black because they don't have the karaoke rotate.
You're still going to see Goes come out to get some damage. You're going to almost use their own utility against them. They're make it a lot harder. Aerial, however, does find a big one. At least bring it closer. Push with another on the cells, and you still have your shield here. It's not impossible. You still have Dean possibly lurking his way
Nice
up
shot, aerial
restaurant
close,
stairs.
one blitz. Blitz
Again,
down,
just
super low on top black. Dean walking
Seeing
up
the
restaurant.
trades, but push down a, what feels like an impossible situation. And now we see a side of Zave, a team that was looking defeated coming into this, that second half. But now you're approaching an overtime, and I think that if Voltage happened to even get to overtime here, it is going to be such a morale loss, as you had so much and turned it into a game that shouldn't have even been close. Which I think is certainly going to hurt.
Vontae on
facing
the
each other.
blitz. The blitz has been a big impact against Voltage.
Your bombs from being defused by attackers.
I mean, yeah, I think that the issue has always just been that blitz. I think it's just because we're seeing, no matter how much shields you take away, there's still going to be one to deal with. It's why I said there wasn't a realistic reason to go for a ban of a shield here. You guys are relatively fine against Blackbeard. You're not insane. You're right around, you're a little bit below average. So, yes, against you, generally Blackbeards have just around a 1.24 KD, which isn't great. Let's be honest. A 1.24 on an operator globally is not great. However, at the end of the day, I don't think it's worth a full ban in a situation like this. I think that maybe they assumed that, the side of Vontae was a bit of a one-trick with shields, which I'm pretty sure that their VOD review is going to hurt a lot, especially after this map. It's only map
So
one.
they're gonna go for black side over again.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and might not be, broken at all, as we could see push be the one caught in the middle of a very, very strong push coming towards him. As everything could break loose, and with a blitz going out.
Aggressive against a blitz.
However, despite that, we see
Gavin.
damage come out. You might lose one here. Good cross held, and you see at least a lot of space
I think
taken.
that was a good trade, 1 for
Yeah.
1, taking out the shield.
I would
Since
disagree.
Voltage has been struggling against the shield.
I think that giving up so much space is a big deal, especially if we see Combe, get droned out here. That's his big thing, is if he falls back like this, now all that space is really lost, and suddenly,
Extra aerial
yes,
playing very
you
aggressive
lost,
here.
you lost your big shield here, but you now have all of the space to work with, and a dragon or shrine take is still certainly possible. You could still go drums and hold across. I think that's the issue is, yes, you lost your big, win condition and kind of X factor in a round, but you took so much space for it, I think it's almost worth it.
Superior boat just hoist a Herbie still at the Asia wall from outside.
They might not know it yet, but they essentially have full control here of this second layer, I'd like to call it. Drums and Shrine look to be almost entirely theirs, and you're obviously going to have to deal with some pretty annoying angles, one being hauled by You're Bad, but it's one of the more ridiculous things I've seen in a while. It looks like the take is maybe coming a different side, and this is where you're really going to see the lack of a shield come to hurt you, because now you can't really play as aggressive as you want. You're going to have to try to swing these ones. That is not really what you'd hope for. I think the bigger issue is time. Is you can play jiggle swings all you want, but you're going to lose time here. You're just going to have to worry so much about the clock as Dala catches a bit of a wall bang and freebie. An unexpected gift, if you
Terrence, one-
if you will, and a missed swing from
Dragon right
him
now.
could have been so much, but instead Trell could have stopped it right here and there, stopped the push on the dragon. Instead, now it's going to come through. The floodgates are open. You might find one, but
Home gets one.
everything is closing in on
Home.
you. All you got to do is not see a throw, and it's a
Flip out whip
1v2
gets the
here.
other.
Comb hoping to find 15 and close that in regulation, but instead we go to overtime and a massive throw here from Voltage as you see the team win 5 straight as Zave look like a battering ram that Voltage was not ready for. And this is certainly going to hurt as you had everything within your grasp. You had a huge lead. You have a timeout in hand still, and you didn't call it when you needed it. Now you're going to have to fight on overtime with a team that has won 5 straight, going on to their first overtime round, being the one they won 5 straight on. They can still run the blitz. They can still play the same thing that has destroyed you time and time again. I don't know if they can beat it. I think this is the big issue. Is I don't know what is going to change here in overtime to really, save Voltage from what looks to be a very big late round collapse.
I mean, I think they just got to play a little bit more aggressive.
I don't think the issue is the aggression here. I think it's that they don't know how to deal with this shield. They haven't decided to bring in the Warden. They haven't decided to try to switch up any strats, really. We're seeing the same list of operators, and I think it's the big issue is you need to see some sort of variety to a team like Zave, who they're good at adapting. Vante and Dean are both able to, adapt to these situations and plan around it. And when you're giving them the same situation, the same formula to go against, they're going to beat you. And I think that's the overarching issue is there's no adaptation. You're playing a vanilla game, a vanilla plan against a team that is actively known with, despite them not having the greatest killers, the greatest aimers. They still have some of the best strategy on console. Why are you trying to fight that in, a plane duel? You're not Obey. And I think that you need to see some form of uniqueness when we come on to at least, hopefully, this half.
Calling your bad and make your aerial isolated.
Now you at least know what's there. You know what's awaiting you. Aerial with a bit of a whiffed Legion here might actually cause more issues than he thinks. However, he goes for the pickup and...
Sound like an office wall. Calling your bad is free right now.
It certainly does look to be so, and I just don't know what the plan is if you are the team of Zave. You are getting good space, but I just
Looks like
haven't...
they're going to get office wall here now.
You're getting it finally, and your bad is at minimum going to have to recognize that. You're going to force it back a little bit. You're going to see everyone start to move their way back as they've given up the space, and Cells finds one for his troubles, catching the runaway, and what could have been a great start, what could have been a great roam, turned kind of miserable as you lose a pick on the way back.
Yeah. Now they have office and exhibition control.
You at least have something to work with if you are the side of Voltage. You still have your big ops. You still have Comb, who seems to be on a bit of a roll recently. But we haven't seen any answer for the side of Blitz yet. We have not seen what you need to try to stop a player like him. I don't think we will. And, I think we're going to have to rely on a big hero play from someone and just straight outgunning here to even try to get close to a win. You know where the shield is.
Still outside black.
Yeah. You know what
Blitz
the issue
on
is.
Shrine.
It's really just, can you solve what has been the constant with no real change? Can you mentally come back on this overtime and try to pull it back when you need it so much?
Deanway walks up restaurant stairs, catches come off guard, just for the injured.
All it takes is if we see Cells walk in, he could catch everything in his grasp, but he might be too slow.
It's up to Cells. Does he know pushes on the stairs? He does. Can he get the pick? He does.
3v2, you're going to have to see Cells go big, but
Cells,
instead
Trell with the big pick. Coleman, Tranny, or Metro Aerial.
And finally, after...
Trell with another big pick. Trell steps up. Finally a defensive round win.
Did take a while, but at least there's some change, At least you're finally coming into a much needed round win into a situation that shouldn't have been this close.
Yeah, Voltage is just reminding me of Falcons right now. They could easily win all the games, but they just want to go to OT for some reason.
Certainly in comparison, I'll give you that. And I don't know. We'll see, but I think
Today it took them 2 maps for 4 hours. I was watching it in pain.
even if
I
you
was too
win here
invested to leave.
2-0 on overtime, if you were Voltage, it still looks so bad. You lost 5 straight to get here, and at a minimum, you're not gonna. You could have been almost what feels like a guaranteed win if you won a 7-1 on your first map, but instead you gave up so many to a team that didn't have any real chance. Now you're gonna have to see Zave obviously kind of adapt here, and after a very, very strong attacking half, you need to see them, perform in the defense here when it matters most. Try to bang it to max regulation.
5 seconds left.
Because, what does Champions run on? Are they, Infinite teetering playoffs or no?
I don't think so.
No, I gotta look that up because they won't know for this game, but I want to just know for the next because I'm probably gonna rehost so I can have names.
All right.
I don't know those, so give me a sec.
Looks like Voltage is gonna go for a exhibition take here. Sells on the exhibition with Lodala. Lodala rotates to office.
Well, at least you're gonna have some of your best players clash here, right? Not and now. Sells with Nuts of Steel here to go and place a Frost Mat while it's being breached. To be fair, it might be a little bit more unexpected now and could very well net you a kill or at least a down.
Come with his floor drone looking for util. Zave just gave up office control.
I think they're fine with that in a situation where they trust themselves and they just know what's going to happen.
If Voltage doesn't know they have a Valk, they're gonna be in trouble with the C4 from below.
That could be the big issue, especially if we see the side of Zave delay it as much as they can, where you're not going to have a chance to replant, possibly if we see this come down to 10 seconds of 5 seconds left and the plant's going down.
They got the Shrine Shield, still playing aggressive on the door. Metro Aerial with the pick, coming in big.
A big put down there to at least try to keep it within reason, but you still have a lot that has to go your way if you're even hoping to get this round done.
Monty.
Obviously, 2 picks from 1 man is certainly going to help, and you still have
Dean
your Valkyrie.
flipping through camps, even though he has 2 dead teammates. I don't think that's a play. Dean does get droned out.
They know it's coming, which really just can he do something about it? And the case is yes. Radala, Dean catching quick 1-2, and numbers right back to what they were, keeping it even, keeping it close, and what could have been a perfect C4 if it was
gonna swing.
just a little bit earlier or later, but instead,
Pick from Geisha.
Dala obviously with the big one there, and you give yourself an advantage. You were down, and now you have a great chance here, especially if you can't see Push to get himself back up. But instead, with the fallback, you're at least going to see him low, groaning, and you're certainly going to hear him when he comes because that blood trail and louder sound during walking, but we'll see. Push has to watch everything here, and instead Dala's
big kill.
with 3 on the round, and could possibly be a quad here, but realistically, I think it's going to go the way of Dean. However, it doesn't matter as time is going to wind down here. There's so little you can do in a situation like this. You might be able to pre-fire. You might be able to maybe look for one, but instead, Dala with a quad, and we're going to go to max regulation after we see the side of Voltage go up 6-1. This is the type of throwaway you've seen in, like... This is phase level throwaway.
Yeah, it's like I'm watching, what was it, 2024 W7M versus FaZe right now. Just exclude all the strats and everything.
And now what could have been so safe, what could have been, you're guaranteed, yay, we got here. You're now going to see it become way too close.
Attackers need to locate
Even if you do in here,
and
it's just,
defuse bombs
it's not what you'd hope.
It's not. We got big performers on Zave. And a
Certainly.
few people that are not performing that well.
I think that we're not surprised by these people, though. Generally, we've seen Dean step up to play a little bit more of a go from that flex to an entry position. We've seen Superior maybe step down from that flex position to Dala, who generally can have a higher upside. sometimes perform better. That's not a big surprise, I think, by who is on the bottom of the leaderboard, and I think we're still seeing value from them as a difference. We're still seeing Superior play the Gurm. We're still seeing Vontae provide a lot of value with your shield. Where, yes, you're not going to see him get the kills because he's going to have cells behind him, and he's going to create so much space and, actually annoy everyone in the process. I think is the big difference where you don't need to see everyone on the side of Zave right now perform. I think that's a little different for Voltage, where we need to see a step up. You cannot rely on Combs going big again. You need to see some hope here. But instead, you are going to make it unbelievably close, and you're going to give all the hope in the world to a team that should have had none. That is the thing
Voltage
about it.
missing a reinforcement on top mez. Be a big blunder. Might not be that
certainly be.
important.
I think it could be. I think it's all just down to how it plays out, but I think it matters more than you'd think. Especially over the time. At 2 minutes that we're already seeing all the goes being popped, it feels like the space is already being kind of given up. Maybe a little bit too early, in my opinion. Still, obviously, have Trell in a good position to maybe cost some things.
Zave is not going to get the top mez wall. Ash wasted both of her Ash charges.
Instead, all of the space feels to be given up a little bit too early, in my opinion, as you have all the bodies alive, and this might benefit you logistically as the side on the defense if you are Voltage here, but you still have the same shield that has terrified your team and caused so many issues beforehand. I don't know what's going to change by leaving it alive here. I think you need to show aggression. You need to try to get as much damage done as you can to the offense before they have the execute. Before now, where we can see if you let, the side of Vontae get in a good position, it could be utter chaos.
Pressure on down. Vontae swinging into Dragon.
Minute left, and you have at least some pressure, and I think everyone's sort of grouping up, waiting for that one moment where all of it's going to come at the same time. One last push here to try to get yourself the round. One big flood to try to guarantee yourself what could be the greatest comeback.
So you might get lucky with a lucky wallbang.
In the entirety of Champions history.
Deanway on bottom house. Can you get the pick on push?
I think at the end of the day, it's just going to come down to how the shield plays. He is going to be the driving force of this round. Instead, Ariel finds the first, a big one on Nadala. The utility's already placed, but one gun here is not what you want to lose.
Finally getting me breach, 20 seconds left. Cells on the site window, home down.
Still have Dean left. You still have these big players left. You still have Cells alive. And everything's going to come down to the small time. It's just going to be a big run in here as you're hoping to find it early. A 2v4 in what looked to be an impossible comeback. It might very well happen as it's all down to one man, and instead, we see the greatest comeback in Champions playoff history as you win everything you could have. Zave looking strong as ever, taking a map that should have been impossible, which should have been the greatest, easy win. If you are Voltage, is now an embarrassing loss as you see a team that does not need to heat up. You see players that do not need to heat up pull it back together, and you've officially caused a lot of issues and made something a lot more worse than it needs to be. That'll be 2 minutes.
This is Sprays, and this is the Counting Cards Podcast Week 1. Today we have with us Brian from Wild Boys.
Hello.
Leader. Let's start simple, though. Who are you?
My name's Brian. I am the CEO/chairman of the Wild Boys organization/LLC.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Let's look to the past.
Okay.
So, how did you start the org? How did it come to be?
How did I start the org? Well, funny enough, one day I was sitting there with a group of friends at this place called Twin Peaks, and one of my friends mentioned Jinxie, and I was like, Jinxie, who the fuck is that? So they pulled up his Twitch, and we were watching him, and he said something about like a $50,000 game. I was like, what? There's no way. So me going into Discord and going around, I went through the main R6 server on Discord, and then I got recruited by forgot what org it was, but some small org where me, Knight, and Toxic, or when we get farther into the podcast, they'll become relevant, recruited me to go play with them. Well, we joined this org together, and we were sitting there, and I was like, oh, okay. Learning on how leagues work, on who runs things. I was like, I want to do this. So one day I was like, yo, Knight, Toxic, if I make an organization, will you guys join? And they were like, hell yeah. And now that's the beginning of Wild Boys right there.
How many teams do you have in the beginning?
Okay. So in the very beginning of Wild Boys, I didn't understand on how necessarily comp worked. I thought as if I get 5 players, I have a team. I didn't understand that you had to have the best of the best, or they all had to be champ. So me.
Sorry for the technical issues aplenty, but we're back, and after what could be arguably one of the greatest singular comebacks we have ever seen, we're now close to what has been an amazing play, and then a drastic downfall for the side of, well, Voltage. And now you're giving heat to a team that I think really doesn't need it. You're giving a lot of hope to a team that really didn't need it. And, well, we're getting that together. You know the map. You love it. And arguably one of the most liked maps in all of Pro League, Nighthaven. Well, we apparently still have a handful of issues on the side of technicality. Some tech issues galore, apparently, and we will see. I think you'd certainly hope for more, but I'm honestly just astonished that my eyeballs are witnessing this. You never even see a comeback. Okay, and apparently issues galore on the other side of Francis. Everything is being weird, but I am certainly interested to see what we're going to see from the side of, well, either side here. I think that Zave obviously have the comeback material. They just won one of the best things we've seen, and with a little bit of technical issues, as much as I would prefer not to, this is going to be a tech pause. And we're back after a handful of technical issues, because when in doubt, win with Siege, be convenient. Otherwise, though, it was obviously probably one of the craziest anything we've ever seen. Is we see a team that looked destroyed and done just win, what was it, 5 straight, and then win in overtime to have easily one of the craziest comebacks I've ever seen. And now if you're Voltage, you have to come on to easily one of the harder things to do, which is you have to win it all. You need to win now, bring it to map 3 after losing so hard. And you just need to prove that collapse is a one-time thing. We also see a target ban of the Blitz. Not a big surprise. Vontae created so much space and chaos with that Blitz every time. You should expect it at this point. We saw how much damage it caused in Skyscraper. They're not going to make the same mistake. Problem is once you cut off one shield, 2 more appear. This time it's the Blackbeard. And that's why I don't recommend banning shields. Is you can, yes, there are some broken shields, but you can never truly get rid of a good shield player. It's like players like Spirits in Pro League. Yes, you can ban the Blitz, you can ban the Monty, but there's still going to be the Blackbeard if you choose so. Unless you waste every single thing you have on shields, in which case you are actively giving them a big advantage. It's a huge throw. Instead, I think it's a bit of an astonishing fact that we're even going to see this be close. But we'll see how it ends, and I think that it'll be exciting however it does. Because Voltage certainly would hope to bring this much closer, but you never know. Okay. I guess. Overall, a relatively basic start. Not really anything crazy on the default, as everyone is just trying to get back into their, how they played. You don't want to throw anything here. Everything is on the line, and you do not want to be the one to cause issues. We see the first pick come from a Claymore out of all things, as that'll probably be the first time that is ever the first pick in a server in a long time. But whatever. It is what it is. To be entirely fair, I think that this has been a bit of a shocker. I mean, Zave looked, down and done, and instead we're seeing a side of the team that we haven't seen. Literally, bro, why is it? What is this? I don't know what's going on with ads, man. It's freaking today. Stells finds the second one after a bit of a pause in between. As I think neither team wants to give it up, but instead, Trail makes sure it stays close, gets the shield, and you had some hope, and then it looks like it's going to flutter right back away as we see Dean grab another. 2-player advantage, and you might have Diffuser in your corner, but Cells is making sure that doesn't matter too much, as it is now a 1v4, and I don't even know what to expect at this point from Voltage. They looked like a just unbelievably strong team, at the beginning of map 1. They threw 5 straight, and then I guarantee you we're going to see them probably pop off and have like a generational roam or generational performance from like Comb. But not today, not for this clutch, as Dala finishes and Zave grabbed the first round. Zave? Apparently I'm tweaking. Alright. Zave. Ugh. This game is about as confusing as it gets. The logos are always on the wrong sides, dude. I wish I could fix it. At this point, it's always been an issue. And they won't fix software-wise, so I've just given up. You know what? Screw it. You know what we're going to do, actually? We can do this, I think. Oh my god, this is going to look awful mid-thing. This is going to look, like, miserable. Left logo. Slide it over. Right logo. comes over here. Well, they are correct, but they do look a little wonky, which take what you will. Take what you can get. Overall, I pause as we're waiting for, I'm assuming, a very large tech issue. And overall, I think this has been easily one of the worst performances we've seen from a single team. You had everything in the world right there. All you had to do was not throw. And instead, you know, we see a generational throw. It's like, it's astonishing at this point. It's truly breaking the boundaries of how buns one team can be. Just kidding. Kidding. We don't hate on any team here. Unless it's push, because going 6-14 is actually wild. I don't know, man. The ads are apparently... The ads might actually be AIDS, because I can't seem to get rid of them, and they're on the minimum. I don't care about ads, gang. I make like 30 cents max a stream. That's not where the money comes from, I promise. Which also means I don't know why there's so many ads, because they're supposed to be like so little. Instead, we're catching so much. I don't know why. All right. Tech pause galore. I'm debating if I want to go to a tech pause screen because we've already done that once today, and I don't like doing it. But this seems that it might cause some issues, and it seems that we might be waiting a while, so get some popcorn, enjoy, maybe get a stretch because this might take a while. Well, speak of the devil, apparently I assumed a tech break, and I got sat down as why you don't ever say that something should be long, because Siege is weird, and so is this game. So is these teams. Overall, a great start for Zave, and I think that, once again, this is really just going to be Cells and then his side cast of characters. I think that's how we're going to see a lot of these games play out. You'll see Dollar pop off sometimes, you'll see everyone else do reasonable, but I think that the main player is certainly going to be Cells, as he seems to have been the beating heart for this entire team's entry and kind of how they ever execute. Which is it bad? No, you still have a great side cast of players that can certainly help him do his thing. You have Dean, who dropped 15. You have a lot of players that have shown that they can handle their own and handle a much bigger role if they need to. But I think we're going to see Cells and Dala take a lot of that weight and a lot of that pressure off the team to sort of make it easier for Vontae to create space, for Superior to do his job and just make sure he gets the walls, and for Dean to kind of work around the drones and make sure they have good intel. Where I think that everyone here has a good role, and I think that we're seeing that much better in the second half. At least in map 2 and beyond. We're also seeing, I think, a little bit of a decrepit side of Voltage, where they could have had, what looked to be a great start and then kind of threw it apart. Last second, you'd hope to maybe reclaim your glory here, go to map 3 and not look like a D1 failure. But I'm not sure Cells is really going to let that happen. See Wall go out at 2 minutes, which despite the Maverick trick is fast time either way, is generally it's a slow process. Anyway you do it. Despite that we see the first pick go to Aerial. It could be 2, but we aim for the wrong spot. Overall here, I think losing Dean certainly hurts, but you're still going to have to kill Vontae, and he has always seemed to be the annoying pest on the side for Voltage, where you can never truly swat him away entirely because he's going to come back with a shield. He's going to keep re-peeking. He's going to keep re-swinging, send a nade at you. At least see the Goyas get gone. I mean, relatively great progression, but at the end of the day, you do have to hit the site, and that's the big issue right now is it feels like the site is a fortress, and there is no way in right now if you are the side of Zave. However, if everything comes in at once, maybe we get to see at least some hope. Good Ash from Cells, though, to try to force out the Azami. Make sure Push can't just sit in the corner he prefers. Comb holding what looks to be one of the more oddity angles today, is it seems that the side of Voltage has been very commonly holding the weird angles. Not to their, non-benefit. It certainly works when it does, but they're just a bit odd. Once again, though, it just feels like the actual progression of these rounds has been so slow. As I say that, Dollar grabs a pretty important one to finally get on the board and hope to make it closer, but instead, pushing in the corner, grabs another one, and making sure that advantage stays at a one person. Zave need to go big here. They need to finally find a pick to put them at, at least a balance here, because trying to go for a plant in a 2v3 is not the play. 20 seconds left. You just need to find something to hope for, something to grab onto as your time is winding down and Superior is not really looking in a good situation to do anything. Play might be possible, but what is it really going to mean? Instead, it's a 1v3. There's nothing you can do, and Vante falls, and it all collapses down as the Voltage grab a much-needed round. Can't have the game get too far away. Can't have Zave let their dream of absolutely punishing the side of Push for being arrogant too much. Be no fun if he did. I don't know why. Bro, I swear, I promise, it's literally just how comp works. When you're playing comp, it's sweaty, and then when you're actively, spectating, it doesn't look as good unless it's, the grand finals. There's nothing, I promise you, it's just how it is. If you look at Obey, they just look like they run at people. That's their whole thing. They don't look crazy, and then they proceed to beat every single team and probably your favorite player. On console, at least. Obey is the same team that generally goes relatively far in tournaments, but never wins. Instead, that honor goes to people like Buddha. Zempi and Vizix got unbelievably close yesterday and then proceeded to biff it last second. Because why not? Biffing what could have been their first big tournament, and instead that BOGO 4 goes to Aiden Tax. I need to keep track of comp, my boy. I don't got what I used to anymore. Yeah, whatever. Overall, to be a relatively default play from both teams with a bit of a break in the normalities. We're not seeing what you normally call an SSG roam for the side of Voltage. We're seeing a relatively normal roam, one player over by vending and one player upstairs. Oddball that does happen to be a 3 armor Doc, because I'm pretty sure he's too fat to roam, but instead, hey, we're breaking boundaries today. Cells at least seems to grab 2 and be once again, kind of the entirety of this team's whole anything. You might get a little bit of help from other players, but it feels like he is the one that's going to kind of make the first entries, make the first everything to get you somewhere. Otherwise, you feel like a dilapidated team. But you grab your freebie if you're Dean. You try to tie the numbers back up as you have a lot to do and at least a good amount of time to do it. You have the time here to go upstairs, get the Rams down, get some verticality, maybe try to force something and maybe see if you can catch your bat out of a bad angle, but seems he's probably going to stay unpunished for his ridiculously, I guess, lack of, trying to worry about the window. Where instead, Dala is going to run down, and we're going to see a group up here looking to maybe go somewhere through the XO, but either way, it's not an easy angle, and I hope you certainly aim the right way, because if you go down the wrong path here, you're going to be caught out. As we see, Trell grabs a bit of a freebie. Dean in a 2v1 here to do everything by himself, because why not? Trell makes sure that doesn't happen and catches 2 quick little kills, and Voltage maybe looking up for once, but dare I say they're playing dominant, because then they're going to lose 4 straight. Feels like it's just an omen at this point. When in doubt, do not trust anyone at Voltage to do their job. At least not in a timely manner. It's going to be like, I don't know, international shipping. It'll take 45 days. It'll probably get lost somewhere in transit, and maybe it'll make it. Get like a 50% chance. But you take what you can get. And what are the predictions looking as? Well, when in doubt, I'm not really surprised. Yeah, that fits. Zave kind of went dominant in their first game, and once again, I think this is going to go to a map 3. Not necessarily because Zave is better or worse, but simply because these teams are about as shaky as someone with Parkinson's. They're going all over the place. One game, we will see half of Zave's role players play better than, Cells. Other game, we will see them not play. Sometimes we'll see Voltage throw away. There's about as much consistency as, I don't know. I was gonna say Antonio Brown, but he's actually kind of consistent. Jameis Winston? Even that doesn't fit. I don't know. He had that 30-30 season, so I guess, but there's no good comparison. At least not one that's readily available.
5 seconds to go. Attackers objective.
Nothing really out of the blue. Voltage playing a relatively, well, more accurately, their default take is they play relatively high upstairs, do not have any player downstairs because, what's that? Like a pulse? I think they brought it once and they played this site like 22 times. So, yeah, they really don't like it. Or they just don't want to. I don't know. I'm pretty sure this team would rather die than have to run a gun that sucks. So I don't really know who would even play in something like that where they all think they're glorified entries.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Once again, same normal progression, I think, from Zave. At this point, even in a bad round for them, you're going to expect them to grab the basic stuff. It's just how they play. It's not even like they're doing anything wrong or they're doing anything right. It's just how they're a very consistent team in that early round development. You'll expect them to get the walls. You'll expect them to get maybe the first pick because they have cells to do it, but consistency is key, and that is one of the best strengths of Zave. That and an amazing role cast where you'll generally see cells as the big entry and then everyone else can kind of flex around to what they need. It's very, very good if you see it all working in action. And your bad is being forced away as Cross is aside. I'm pretty sure he would rather not fight when they're already down one player. Makes it a little bit better, or at least from aerial. Big kill, but is that really going to be enough? The question I don't think they have an answer to yet is you don't look like you have a lot to look forward to if you are a Voltage fan. They might be one round up, but they lost very badly in the, that first map there. And even in this map, I think that they're moving at a really great pace here. No verticality really is going to hurt like hell because that execute's going to not be anywhere near as consistent as you'd hope. And Echoes could certainly be the sneaky thing to pull this all apart. I don't know why ads are such an issue. I need to figure it out because I'm on 5 minutes of ads, I think, like 3 minutes of ads per the hour. I'm not running manuals either. Like, it's just straight up bad. Chalk it. Whatever. Dalla at least grabs a pretty big one there. Maybe hoping to find something. I think the biggest thing to look forward to if you are a Zave fan is you're up. You have what looks to be at least an even 2-2 here, and I think if it's Zave, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 4-2, especially after how good they started. But Cells make sure to finish it off, padded them stats once more, and tie it back up. Bro. I'm surprised the stream has not been all over the place. I finally did multi-streaming. So this is now on TikTok, YouTube, this, and then eventually Kick. But I don't even have the internet to do Kick. So instead, those, 2 platforms get a stream that is low quality. Here is the full, I think 1440p if it handles it. I don't know. The quality is so touch and go sometimes on Twitch. I have a good internet connection too. This is like a top one. That's just how it be sometimes. What in the world? Or apparently not. No, I'm not live. Because that makes sense. That makes total sense. Yeah, like what? I don't even... Apparently this is not streaming on TikTok and YouTube because restream servers crash. Gotta hate them sometimes. It's running, so I don't even know what it's running to. unless I'm tweaking.
Attackers recover their user.
Either way, here. Oh, hold up. There we go. Of course, my mouse is dead as well. But overall, this is going to be a very traditionalist take. I would not be surprised if we even see a slower take from Zave. They already have a 2-2 half. They have like the bare minimum they need to really function. At this point, everything past this is bonus. You know, they'd certainly love a 3-3 half or even a 4-2 for them, but you don't need it. We've seen them that they've come back from so much more. We're also seeing a relatively weak game so far from Push. As you started out amazing map 1 and then it's kind of just degraded into much worse. Hey, we all have bad games and bad maps. Just you really probably need to fix it here and now because you don't have a lot of time to do it. As this is your series point and your only chance in playoffs because this is not double elimination. You lose here and you lose, which will hurt quite a bit more if you are the side of, you know, Voltage. Losing 2-0 isn't really going to look too good, but at the end of the day, this is kind of the first round of the playoffs, and with a much better performance in the side of SSL, they're obviously looking more towards that with a bye in hand and going against what should be Redemption on Monday? Bro, I had Gotti co-hosting, and then he proceeded to not co-host. I don't know why. Drake, also, bro, you'll get in like a quarterfinals, or like semifinals. You'll be fine. I'm already casting 95% of SSL for like $5 a game. It's weak. I'm kidding. I love you. But still. It hurts when I'm getting like 25 a game at times. Hey, but we sometimes take charity games like these where we can have fun. We can see two very good teams duke it out, and maybe a bit of an upset as Zave with, I think, the much lower seed. And Push, once again, right close in the shotgun, but we've somehow seen this fail time and time again. So maybe 6 times the charm? I'll backing off instead, as you do have control of all of the site. Time is winding down. I don't really know what you're looking for if you are Zave here. Is where do you even plant? There is no real plant spot. There is no real chance for an execute, and despite it would look to be a relatively weak team, you can grab as many kills as you want. It's not going to matter here, is at the end of the day, you didn't do anything for the walls, didn't do anything for the real execute, and Trell finishes off with a bailiff to add the extra insult. Maybe we get a co-host too. Shit. I've certainly done worse things getting a co-host from the middle of the game. I mean, we had a co-host before this, so sharing the love, I suppose. Community effort, committee approach. Anything but me solo casting, because playoffs and solo casting never exist unless you're 4, in which case I'm pretty sure he'd rather die than take a co-caster, is his words. His words, not mine. His words, not mine. Oh. Okay, yeah, so everything's just dead. I love it. Otherwise, I mean, I think the big player to look forward here is you probably want your bad to go big here. You'd really, really hope that on a round as important as getting yourself an advantageous half after how big you've thrown it, you know, you do good, but we just gotta see, essentially. You never know. But he's always, I think, gonna be one of the bigger players in terms of straight impact in a game. I mean, overall, I don't really think that it matters too much if you are Voltage. I think that that 1 round difference is not going to mean as much as you think. I think it's going to come down much more to how Zave feels going into that second half. It seems that they have kind of declared how they run these games, and it feels like it's going to be up to them to see if they can really hold their own to any degree. overall, the slowest starts you could even ask for is... It tends to be sometimes. These teams don't generally try to push the boundaries all too much. For good reason. Sometimes it's best to just lay low. No reason to in a round that can be as important as this. Vontae grabs the first, and what is a big here, but overall, I think you want to find something here. If you're the side of Voltage, you need to have something to hang your hat on. You're not the better trading team right now. You're not the better entry team, despite how good Trell is currently doing. You just need that extra push, I think. And where that comes from, I'm not sure quite yet. Overall, I mean, a big pick nonetheless, losing Superior, but I think having that Valkyrie gone is going to matter a lot more in the grand scheme of things. Is the actual delay here is not as good as I think you'd hope for. Your intel is not going to be as good as you'd want, and I think losing the C4 is a big deal, but a botched one upstairs is, I think, going to hurt a hell of a lot more. Instead, time's going to wind down, make it as close as humanly possible, because Cells apparently wants to farm some kills, but you might see a massive stop. But put to the end, I think a little bit closer than I think they'd hoped for. Is there was an awful odds there that the Vigil got that kill, and suddenly that was over. But luckily they clean it up, go on to their better half on a Night Haven, and have an even half to come into, which... Compared to the 5-1 mess we saw last time, this is a hell of a lot more advantageous. You look good, you feel good. I think that the mental is finally just right for a team like Zave. Tisk. Why in the world? Okay. If you're the side of Zave, I think you gotten what you wanted, and now you just want to see how can we see Cells perform on the Realm here. This is arguably more important than literally everything else, because this is your biggest round, I think, to prove that you just have a bad Skyscraper defense. You're not a bad defensive team. You can clean it up here, and you could end it 2-0 against, I think, a bit of an upset. Is, if I'm not mistaken, it is like the 9 seed versus the 8 seed, but a win is a win, man. Bro, what is... Okay, I changed the map this time. I know I did. Yeah. When in doubt, hit undo and redo. Because that always fixes. Why it does this? I wish I knew, man. Current map. Undo. Yeah. I don't know. I have to undo and redo, and there's no logical reason because it doesn't even do anything. Like chalk it. When in doubt, this game is, or this software sometimes can be as tricky as humanly possible. As I'm apparently streaming to somewhere, but I don't even know what it's streaming to. That's good. That's so good. Overall, I think a really slow start, and I think there's certainly no pain in that, as I think other than Cells very much roaming upstairs, they're very happy to have this, I think, slower start. They're glad to waste the Deimos tracks. They're glad to try to burn away as much utility and time as possible by just kind of staying up here without any real pressure, as there hasn't really been that much to truly go towards them. Only thing that might hurt here is if Deimos catches him at the end of his track, but instead Cells gets unpunished from a track, and other than Comb, who's in a position that could cause some chaos, this has been so strong. What? Oh my god, because it flipped. God, why did I flip it? I don't even... Whatever, it's... that one. This is why I don't flip logos. People love it, and I'm like, I can't do it. Because if you flip logos... Yeah, I know, because... And then they'll keep spouting about it for like 90 seconds because I forgot how large the delay is. Vante with one of the first picks, which might be a first in history, as he is probably one of the most passive players in the entirety of Console League. And also, Dean might have the biggest nuts I've ever seen, as this man straight up just kept walking in front of a castle being broken. Luckily, we hear Trell obviously hear it, and despite being down a player, I think there's still a lot of hope here, as you do have a very, very visible path into at least what could be a good win. A good win of a round could very much help here, but it's dependent on how fast you can deal with the plant here, because if we have to see it come down to the last 5 seconds, you're going to get wiped. We're going to see a smoke come in, you're going to die while planting. But if you can afford to bait it out here now, you can afford to start sicking it here and, you know, maybe lead to it, where he doesn't know where the plant is quite yet, and home catches a freebie, the plant's going to go down, and what I would assume would have been an impossible plant made what looks to be relatively easy. Sallows knows where he is, but he can't do anything about it. He doesn't want to swing. Instead, Trell catches 2, and it could be 3 here. Instead, Vante going to try to elongate the round and make it a little closer, but absolute dominance on that post plant. It is what it is. Man.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
Shit, I need to get me some like Vizex. That man is genuinely an amazing player, but respectfully, his personality is not crazy. He's not all that. He's an amazing person. He's just like not like an entertainer. And then that man has 35 views. I swear, I just got to get good at roller rivals and get carried by like Jeff Sicko. Oh please, my glorious king, who's like, I don't even know. He has wins. I don't remember how much. That man used to be a tourney wizard, and then I low-key have not heard about that man in a while. Forget bad game. It's been Push is having arguably his worst career 2 maps in a row. He went 6 and 14. In all of those kills, I think he went in the second half. He went like 1 and 12 or like 1 and 7. He was straight up miserable after that first half. And then in this game, he's 1 and 7. This might genuinely be his worst performance in the history of him in like his entire career of Siege. At least in Console League. Is that absurd? Yes, it is. I don't think I've ever seen something that strong. But I don't know. It looks like Cells is kind of being Cells. Despite what looks to be a pretty great stat line from him so far, this isn't really that crazy. It's kind of par for the course. He averages, if I'm not mistaken, like a 1.6 overall, so... Is it crazy? Yes. Is it really that crazy for him? No. No, it is not. I'm gonna lose it with sometimes with this damn thing. Wait. What? Where is that even coming from? I don't even have a win down. Like, now I'm just straight confused because that BO3 map one is chalked. There's one for him, but there's not a... It's not even on. Flippity flip. Like, if I send it back down here, does that help? I don't even know what the issue is at this point. There's just a win there and I don't know how to fix it. Ignore the win and I'll fix it if we go to map 3. I should say 1v2. Cells with at least a pretty big one. Yeah, he got hand cammed, and then I know... No, he genuinely has gotten more accusations than I've heard anyone else get for Zim and Cronus, so I'm not saying it's true because I am never gonna say with a unrefutable evidence. But the man does get accused a lot. And also he's probably mental shock because he went absolutely awful. But whatever. Push at least gets the plant down. He's providing some value for his team, and we're in a 3v2. It's still very winnable here as Kingsville 1v3, and Vante is not exactly the shining example of true firepower in a 1v3, not really the comeback potential you'd hope for, and Trell finishes the round. And is there hope? Maybe, just maybe. I don't even know what the... oh, there we go. I don't even... Oh my god. Sometimes I can't remember if... I can't even tell if OBS is bad or I just suck at using it. I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty sure it's just both. That and that, I'm pretty sure my PC is losing its mind trying to stream to 4 different platforms at the same time. And not using Restream for that matter. It's all coming out of my own internet. Good lord. But when in doubt, I'll be fine. I hope. Overall, though, I think it is easily, finally, some hope for Voltage that maybe they can close out around here. They can finally get somewhere, and maybe, just maybe, you have a chance at a map 3. Let's just not throw 3 straight like, before. However, I do think the biggest issue is always going to be how strong the actual defenses can be from Zave. Strategically, they're easily one of the best teams. They're much better than most at holding these complex roams and complex plays if they decide to. Will they do it? That's not up to me. Shit, I'm the one that gave them the strat book. I hope they do well with it. Or it won't matter. We're going to see Push get mental chocked, and he will have the career worst playoff KD in Champions League history. And probably Black Ice League before this. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he currently has a global KD right now in playoffs as I don't know, something. In this match, I know it's like a 0.27, I think, or like a 0.14, 15, something around those lines. It's not pretty. I'd make a joke here, but yeah, I'm not doing it. However, you do see the first pick go the way of Trell is finally we're seeing other players get on the board in terms of entry. As I say that, calling it your bad has a 0-3 start to the entry, so don't let him ever get into a first fight. But do let Cells and Trell do it as they're 3-0 and 2-0 respectively. Apparently Trell is the only beating force, as who needs teammates when you have one man to do it all? Hey, I mean, it's essentially what Push is doing right now. He's just making sure they have one less teammate. Professional 1v5er. Or 5v4? He makes his team worse. Statistically, he does, actually, to be fair. Globally, when Gotti's on the board, they just straight up have better stats. So, haters gonna hate, but statistically, he makes teams worse. Somehow. Oh. Overall, it just feels like it's not a great game for anyone. It feels that this is a very down map for both teams, despite it being very strong. And it seems that Deanway plans to hold his entire body as he is once again the only force on this team that is worth existing. And also some ridiculous, I don't even know what, bravery, stupidity, either or, to keep swinging in the same direction after a C4 blows up in your face. That's guts. Or he doesn't care, I don't know. And now that Push is gone, Superior has a chance to finally maybe go positive. Vante has a chance to maybe finally go positive. 2 players that have shown some great plays, but nothing that has truly broken, teams. Nothing that has truly, shown that they're actually that top dog. He can certainly do it here, though. You know where he's coming from, but instead, Trell catches a bit of a freebie here, and I think the bigger issue, though, is just going to be time. Can you truly handle how much time is left when you have almost nothing in hand? And a botched flash means all you have to do is kill the planner and
Run out of time.
catch a bit of a freebie. 5-4. What's up, and Sid? It has been a long, long day. I casted my team against U.S. Army. A bit of a tough one, bit of a tough loss, but it is what it is. And now we got this BO3, and then I am probably pretty sure I'm casting like the next like 4 games for Black Hole, because apparently no one else casts console besides me. And then I also got to cast, I don't, free nights for me are essentially a non-existent thing. I'm either casting playoffs like this, which to be fair is very much worth my time, I'm glad, or I'm getting myself into the T3 circuit. Baller Invitational, maybe XGS, maybe. Titan Hand League when that comes around, Neuro Strike.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as
You know,
many bombs as they
the
can.
smaller guys for now. I'm not onto like Element 5. I'm not Sino yet. Because that man apparently has, I don't know, a crazy amount of casting. That man pulls it out like consistently. Overall, though, I think it's at least a good start if you are the side of the cells. Is it a weaker game compared to last time? Yes, but you are also working, I think, on a team that is overall playing better. So I don't really think it's a big loss, especially when we're seeing him play a little bit less aggressive in terms of op picks. Yes, he's still playing the Ash, but on the defense, he's playing a little bit more, you know, into the team. He's not picking up the Warden. He's picking up the, you know, the Jaeger. He's not picking up the Mute. He's picking up, you know, the Frost. I think there's a lot of merit there for a player to still be able to be consistently good and perform relatively well despite him playing, you know, slightly worse ops. And then we see arguably one of the least seen tricking methods, unless it's Pro League. I guess this is the kind of dollar store equivalent. Mirror tricking. Problem is that you let a Twitch go through and suddenly your mirror trick is no longer. You still chuck a C4 through there if you get close enough, and that is dangerous. Actually, it's one of the most common things I've seen in the interactive console is apparently Twitches are just also invisible. That or Comb is actually a ninja. What is with teams trying to have bottom trick it? Like, it doesn't, they don't know how to. I don't know what the plan is. Like, maybe it's just like they don't know how to or something, but it is not there yet, folks. Overall, I think this is still going to be a map 3. I think we're going to have it be close, at least, but I don't see a lot of, you know, crazy plays, I think, from the side of Zave, and I think that it's not a bad thing, it's just that they've kind of settled into what they usually are, instead of the crazy, you know, winning 5 rounds in a row state that got them even a match win in the first place. They still certainly have space, they can afford to lose this and still have a life to live, but, you know, it does hurt. Buck is below, trying to cause some chaos, and Cells is certainly being the aggressive one here, trying to find it. Remember, we see all the bodies lining up. We see everyone ready for that big execute. Vontae sitting in the corner. Comb looking for maybe one. Cells finally punished for a bit of a, I think, over-aggression. Ariel walking up, and I think everything's going to come in at once here is everyone's just prepping for all hell breaking loose, and huge whip from Comb with what could have been. Instead, both players are going to be relatively low between Comb and Vontae. You're at least getting your space here. You're getting a lot of, you know, much necessary things, but it's a 5v3. All you need to do is not throw, but instead, Dala is going to lose a much-needed win, and instead you're going to leave it in a 1v5 for Dean, who he might be a good player, but this is a little bit over-asking. So instead, we're going to need to see essentially the greatest 1v5 ever. Instead, not. And Voltage move to match point to hopefully finally reclaim their glory after missing one of the worst maps I've ever seen. That one person that bet on Voltage might actually have a big payout for once. Okay, yeah, so I am not endorsing the Cronus allegations for push, but pretty sure he got banned from a tournament more than once, so take that as you will. Take that as you will. Yeah, I'm not even gonna... I'm not touching that.
Locate and defuse bombs.
Yeah, I'm not touching that at all, actually. I'm just gonna leave that be. Man, I need to get these games credited on Liquipedia so I can at least like have them, known that I casted things. Because if I can finally get things accredited on Liquipedia, I would actually have like so many points. It's kind of important. It makes it so I'm accredited as a caster. It's not just for my gratification, even though I do like how I would look a large profile of games. What have I casted? Champions,
10 seconds.
Neurostrike, SSL, MPL, Lunar
5
League,
seconds remaining.
Black Hole. Essentially, I'm pretty sure every single console league in existence has had me for their grand finals, playoffs, or regular season at one point. MPL, I'm doing their free grand final, and I'm pretty sure their main, but that's up to whoever, Julia. Personally, I enjoy it. Console can really be a joy. It has its significant flaws and a bit of a pay decrease, but sometimes it's fun to see the wildness that can certainly happen in games like this, where T3 can be a little bit more vanilla. You know what to expect. Instead, you can see people drop 20 in a game, which is awesome, because who doesn't love to see someone drop 20 eliminations in the span of like 14 rounds? Overall, I don't know what the plan was there. I'm assuming he knows that he Habanatur's wrong, but I'm pretty sure he still did it wrong, because this bottom one isn't low enough. Yep. It's not low enough. Instead, you made 2 holes. There we go. He's finally doing it correctly. They need to be literally synced into it. Oh yeah, no, his DMR is very concerning. His DMR is actually just straight up concerning. Thank you, Insignia. I will take it. Cells finds the first pick after a long period of not doing too much. Not necessarily a him thing, it's just that everything else is happening and he's kind of just stagnating. Which, it is what it is. It is what it is. Dean goes out and so does Superior is what looked to at least be a relatively normal round, now kind of deformed into a bit of a shit show. But when in doubt, trust your man, trust yourselves, trust your superstar to bring it right back. Only one player down isn't hurting, but you can certainly have a hell of a lot more. All just comes down to one man. That and him to make sure he doesn't get droned, because if he gets droned, then this is over. But no drone, and maybe, just maybe he has a chance. They double swing. Actually, relatively good 1-2 right there, and Trell catches him out. With the plant going down, you're down to literally one man here. Vante to fix it all. Maybe stall off a map. But this looks like we're going to a map 3 as... I don't know what the plan was. Comb finishes and maybe a bit shaky in the middle. Maybe a little bit of worriness if you are Voltage, but you got a map and we're heading to map 3 right after this break.
This is Sprays, and this is the Counting Cards Podcast Week 1. Today we have with us Brian from Wild Boys.
Hello.
Leader. Let's start simple, though. Who are you?
My name's Brian. I am the CEO / chairman of the Wild Boys organization / LLC.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Let's look to the past.
Okay.
So, how did you start the org? How did it come to be?
How did I start? Well, funny enough, one day I was sitting there with a group of friends at this place called Twin Peaks, and one of my friends mentioned Jinxie, and I was like, Jinxie, who the fuck is that? So they pulled up his Twitch, and we were watching him, and he said something about like a $50,000 like game. I was like, what? There's no way. So me going into Discord and going around, I went through the main R6 server on Discord, and then I got recruited by forgot what org it was, but some small org where me, Knight, and Toxic, or when we get farther into the podcast, they'll become relevant, recruited me to go play with them. Well, we joined this org together, and we were sitting there, and I was like, oh, okay. Learning on how leagues work, on who runs things. I was like, I want to do this. So one day I was like, yo, Knight, Toxic, if I make an organization, will you guys join? And they were like, hell yeah. And now that's the beginning of Wild Boys right there.
How many teams do you have in the beginning?
Okay. So in the very beginning of Wild Boys, I didn't understand on how necessarily comp worked. I thought, yeah.
And we're back after a bit of an odd start. But we got there in the end, and you are hopefully looking to close it out here and now and stop giving up so much to the side of Zave. Neither team, I think, really wants to have to keep playing this sort of game, playing the same singing, song and dances. They've had issues, and quite a plenty. See the Blitz and the Cade go off is once again, Vante is going to get banned. Or they're going to try to ban Vante, which has actually been working relatively well. As you ban one, surprisingly, Vante is not the man for the job. Instead, we're going to see, I think, the one that's a little bit more unexpected. Our man on a mission that is usually not on the shields. Bro, I'm not taking sprays. I'm not taking 7 co-casters, bro. What the oh, I'm there. Lag like a billion. And then like well, we apparently might be getting a co-caster late into map 3 because why not have a little bit of what just happened? Oh, okay, so it's a full shotgun shot to the skull. Gotcha. Bro, listen, I will have Drake co-cast, but I am not having 2 co-casters. I've already had 2 in one series. There is levels to this. There is levels to how ridiculous this gets. I can only take on so many in a game before I'm gonna tweak. All respect to Gotti, but I'm gonna lose it. Bro, I need to make a new intermission video. No fun. No. What is with everyone trying to co-cast tonight? Also, someone left. Straight up. That's 9 console players in the squad, so either it's glitched again or we're gonna have to rehost, and that sounds miserable. Not again, folks. Not again. I've had to rehost so many times in the past 2 weeks. Hey, I'm almost at 50 rehosts in 2 weeks. That alone is actually an astonishment. Also, what happens when you have 10 players, full spectators, and everything else breaking itself. Let's see if we can see, Push finally pop off here after losing, or not losing, having to do a hand cam more accurately. Bro, what is going on? Everything but normal siege. Just like that. We're upside down repelling and cells. That is, it just feels like a throw. I don't even know what the plan is there. Bad jokes today. Cardenese. Cardefoy. Discord. Oh, sweet, it works. Cool. Whatever, you start talking. I have a second co-caster in a span of not even 3. Well, this will actually be the third map, to be fair. With 14 seconds left, it looks like a bit of a throw as Zave with some very large antics, and now the loss of the first round. You there, Drake?
Yes, I am there. Watching the stream, I think I'm a minute 30 behind.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Hold up. My stream is gonna lag so hard. Streaming in a game is gonna fuck it up. Let's see how bad the stream health gets.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by
There we go. Check Discord.
It's a good sacrifice.
Good sacrifice, bro. I'm
Trying
streaming
to-
to like 6 different platforms on one internet. This is so chalked.
What are you even streaming on, dude?
I am using multi-stream, so I have Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and then like not Kick right now because I forgot about Kick.
Oh,
and then
brother.
you got
TikTok.
bro, I can't even
Screw YouTube.
Bro, TikTok never even works half the time. Like it'll like half work, but it never really does. I don't know how to explain it. You'll see.
10 seconds left before
Because like Restream is the worst servers on the planet. I've seen better servers from like potatoes. It's awful. I'm pretty sure Carrier Pigeon could be better servers. Okay, can you see the view relatively fine at normal timing?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And then I'm still tuned into the stream. It doesn't look like it's crashed at all. But I don't know if it's gonna start acting up now since
We'll see.
kind of caught up.
That's a 90 seconds behind, so the stream, not Discord. Otherwise, it's been a relatively uneventful. So I think second game, it went about as vanilla as you could go for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think after seeing the side of Zave win 5 rounds straight just to get to overtime, it'd have probably the craziest comeback win ever in Champions League. A little bit of vanilla in a game doesn't hurt nobody.
Well, I feel like for NHL is a very defensive-sided map. I believe if you are a good team, you have your strats set up and all that. NHL should be a 4-2 defensive split, and if you're a really good team in a top 10% of Pro League, I feel like you should be getting 5-1 or 6-0 splits.
Oh no, this was
So seeing the 3-3 NHL split was very interesting.
Oh, I thought you didn't see. I thought you thought that there was a 5-1 split for NHL. And the rat roam from Combe, because when in doubt, rat it out. I don't even know why he did it with a Goyo. There's Cav on the board too. Have a little bit of parity in your life, I guess. Picks galore as Bad grabs 1. Combe with his annoying rat 1 and relatively at least eventful start for the side of Voltage, but I think it's certainly very questionable right now of does this team even really have the superstar power to handle like a third map and really go the distance?
I think they do. You know, both teams kind of showed out during NHL, and also was a little bit lackluster on both teams. I think they need to utilize their timeouts for sure. And maybe slow down the pace. I feel like they're playing a lot more loose than I would personally. I think that's kind of hurting both of their games.
I'm gonna lose it, bro. People have been saying ads while casting. I have it on like 3 minutes per ad or 3 minutes per hour. I don't know why it's so bad.
No, it is.
Like,
it's a lot of ads, bro.
it's on the minimum amount of ads. I don't know what else to do. Like, straight up. I am not running that many ads anymore. I don't know what, like, I can, screw it. I'll recheck right now.
No, I'm not hating you. I'm just saying, as me viewing, I think I've hit 6 ads.
What the oh my god. Is it like, I can call timeouts for teams? That's very convenient. I don't know why I need to, but it's entertaining at the minimum. On.
Did you see this,
pull up this.
this going to a map 3? What was your prediction before?
I expected a 2-1 from Zave, to be entirely fair. So we're not super far off, but like
Okay.
the way we got there is about as oddball as it gets.
Attackers need to locate
To be
and
entirely
defuse
fair.
as many bombs
Yeah.
as they can.
I didn't get to watch map 1, and then I only tuned into map 2 halfway through.
I am. I straight up want to know now of how many ads am I running, because I know it's low, but like I want to know. I want to make sure it's like actually low, and it's not like I think it's low and we're having issues. Because I'm gonna lose it. Greater dashboard. Holy shit, that's a lot of money. I don't know how I made that much. Blah 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 blah. Ads are somewhere. Monetization. Yeah, 5. Okay, so it's 5 minutes per ads because I get a better
Attackers are
split.
heading out to defuse a bomb.
It's supposed to be a 1.5 minute break every 18 minutes. So I mean, like, I don't.
well, you heard it here first. He is money hungry, folks.
5
money
minutes per
hungry, in
ad is
fact.
money hungry, and Zave
Yep.
Tav. Am I okay? So apparently Zave is short for Zavetavius, which my eyeballs hurt from hearing that. I hurt from reading that and seeing that.
Your
and
eyeballs hurt.
They do hurt. They've been hurting, bro. The grind don't stop no more. I am either casting or coaching. I don't know, helping someone with tech problems.
Sounds like a casting and coaching job. Jaysler, I mean, sorry. I'm trying not to curse on stream anymore.
You
My
can
apologies.
within the normal ones, but no hard slurs.
Well, the J slurs are pretty hard to slur. It triggers a lot of people, including myself.
Oh, I always thought that was like another slur. I was so confused for a second. Okay, Tell grabs the first one, immediately traded up by Superior with one of the weirdest interactions I've ever seen. Dean at least grabs push. The Cronus Warrior is Cronus no longer. Bad make sure is at least stays close, but someone say push, man. Apparently, if the Cronus accusations are true, at this point it fits because he's gone like a 0.24 since he got hand cammed. A point. That's like the
Well,
worst looking
I
thing
mean,
possible.
Yeah, it doesn't. It never looks good when you frag out and you're really good in ranked and whatnot. Then you get hand cammed in league and you kind of shit the bed.
Yeah, it doesn't
I mean,
help.
it happens to the best of us. You know?
Yeah, the second a hand cam goes, some of us just low key crap, and it isn't even because we're Cronus. Hey, don't worry, I never had that issue because I was.
Anyone with
Yeah,
hand camming.
that's like hand camming Matsumitsu or Flaxy, or like Stretch at this point. They're the current sprays because let's be honest, sprays is low washed.
Sprays. Sprays catching a stray.
Bro, this man has like a 0.7 right now in league as of recent in the past like 4 weeks. Save him, bro. Save him from league.
What's on with the 0.7, twin?
Bro,
That's
it's
what
league.
like my whole season KD was in SSL season 1.
Damn, so you were buns. That's good to know. It's 115.
Hey,
Why
I
is
was
it
a hard support, gang.
hard support? Don't mean shit when you're
not have,
buns.
but I didn't get the kills, but I definitely got my plant down and got
Yeah,
my
is that-
fucking fraggers.
Bro, your fraudulent ass black
How
ice
many
league
rings do you
win.
have? How many rings do you have?
I'm
how
gonna
many rings do you
I'm gonna
have?
have cast. Shut up, bro. I'm making more money than you ever made on Siege. I've already made
Okay,
more money. I've been doing it for like 4 months.
You don't
the
have a
town.
car. You're poor.
You want to go that route?
My Legos cost more than your rings. I have Legos more expensive than your rings. I have
Yeah.
shoes more expensive than your rings.
Okay, you hold on. You have a Lego set that costs more than 2.5 grand.
Yes, twin.
What kind of Lego sets do you buy? I can't even buy one above like $1 grand. I don't even know where to look. What are you even buying from? The black
Yeah.
market?
I mean,
Bro, I go to
type
the,
shit,
bro, I went to the
guess,
Mall
yeah.
of America for vacation, and I couldn't even find something that expensive. They have a full like.
I went to
range-
Florida and almost.
Ugh, Florida. Just kidding.
I love Florida, dude. I'm a 4 times girlfriend's family Florida vacation vet now. Feels
Like
good.
how we've drifted entirely across the point of this game because it's just been so blah. We're already talking about
Well,
other
I'm
things.
just trying to keep small talk until the round starts. Alright.
Fair enough. This game has been
Is
so
there
far.
any Is there any upcoming rookies and new plays you're looking into?
Overall, I mean, there's like tactics off of how the fuck am I- Alchemist? Or no. Yeah, Alchemist. And then they got wiped. Right? What team is DK on? Or yeah.
DCAC? I don't know. I think one of the most inspiring prospects I think will have a very blessed career is DZ. I think DZ's on the come up for sure.
I thought he was a tourney kid like a shit ton before this. Maybe not.
I'm not sure. I think, but either way, bro, he's got a lot of skill and his ceiling's very high in my opinion. I feel like he's gonna go far.
Certainly. Wait, what? Oh, okay, I saw that wrong. For a second, I thought that Charlie Worley was a rookie this season. I'm like, there's no way in hell. His old ass has been here longer than I have.
Charlie and old ass is crazy.
In comparative to how long I've been in the server, yes. Yes, it is. Yeah, it was Tactics from Alchemist. That was who I was thinking of. He's like easily one of the best. That and then Dark from 907, but he's a role player and... Yeah, I mean, it'd be kind of hard.
There's nothing wrong with role players. I mean,
it's not, but like, it's kind of hard to give Rookie of the Year.
Or your hard support. I understand that. That's kind of like the flaw with, I think, the awards. I think that the board should re-look into it and maybe give Fragger and support and Flex and like Coach, IG. I feel like you should.
I'm willing
you should
to
get different awards.
Yeah. I don't do that
the
anymore.
MLB does gold gloves for catcher, first base.
I know what you mean.
Like
I'm just saying.
for Siege.
I'm just saying it don't really.
I know. You don't.
I'm not even bored anymore, dude. I stepped down because I wanted to do casting more.
Yeah.
Trying to be directors of teams is actually kind of miserable.
Ooh.
And Cells
got picked off by
finally. Vontae got the first pick after the slowest half we've seen, I think, ever in this entirety of the series. At least a little bit of hope for this side, but all they just depend on.
That pick's gonna come bite them in the ass, seeing that they no longer have the smoke to deny.
Doesn't seem to matter for them though. Is
on Montaigne, Twitch going to go down by Doc. What just happened to this round? I don't think they know. I think, yeah.
And I think that we're going to see the team of Zave finally.
It's gonna be a timeout.
They're finally learning, bro. They're learning how to play the game. And this is the only thing, I swear to God. I was a buns ass coach. Let's not lie for playmakers. I was not good.
We
but
know.
like.
A little bit of a rage bait sprinkled in. I mean, it all worked out, bro. It's whatever.
But overall, I mean, it's been pretty good.
Alright, I wanna, now that we have an additional like 40 seconds here, what's are there any unks that have like popped off, you know, any old timers that can still like, I guess, frag out and shit that you've seen?
I mean, like, how old are we talking?
I mean, like actual unks, not like, Charlie.
Like Pickles, then, I guess, because he's been good.
Pickles?
Bro, here's the problem, though.
Really?
Pickles is an amazing player, but this man chokes so hard when it comes into semifinals. So far, in semifinals, he has a 0.7.
That's fire. I don't know why you guys are hitting 0.7s. I had a 0.7.
Yeah, but you
I
also
think we made it
are
all
a
the way
hard
to
support.
grand
He's supposed to be
finals
he's supposed to be
on
the entry player.
I
I mean,
That is
technically,
true.
Andy's term is also kind of up there because he averaged. I don't even know how he averages a 2.4 in playoffs. That just seems wrong. That just looks wrong. How do you average a 2.4 in
Yeah.
playoffs? That looks like cocaine addict shit.
Yeah,
And maybe he's
that's like Spray's level baiting right there.
He's not. He doesn't even bait that hard though. He's like what is he? I think he's like 14-4 on entries last playoffs. So he doesn't even
That's
bait.
not bad at all.
That's my point. He plays entry good. He doesn't even bait, and he just walks through. To be fair, remember this is like one of Obey's star players. That's their whole thing is, who needs strategy when we can shove it down your skull with a better gun? I'm just saying. That or ISO, who he's not really uncle, but he's there. ISO, Vux.
Iso's not he's not actually old. I'm talking about like dudes in their 20s that have been playing the game since they were 12 that
Something
can
like
actually
Vux,
still
I
frag
think.
out.
Because X9 looked
Yeah.
great at like week 1. He had like a generational performance one time, and then he turned out to realize that he's washed. And I'm not talking like Joe Flacco washed, where he's like still kind of good. I'm talking like Aaron Rodgers washed. Like, I don't know. John Jones washed.
Ooh.
What?
Trade
picks?
coming out, the Ash and Bandit going to be taken down. Seb's 0-5 here on entry. Not
So-
looking too hot.
Yeah, so far it has not been what you'd hope for, and I'm pretty sure both these teams are very tired right now.
Ooh, Monty going to be taken out by Comb here. That's
Another.
an interesting. Ooh.
Comb nutty so far, man.
It's also going to be Thermite taken out by Combs. Combs just fragging out and just denying them this push here.
Dolophine's won, and this one certainly isn't over for the side of Zave, but there's a lot you got to do, and you don't really have the operators you'd wish to do it with. Still have the smokes here that can delay.
I got still play for like 3 minutes. I'll be back.
Oh yeah, because you do arc like a weirdo. Overall, it's been a relatively default round, and what has been a game that has come down to close margins, but it's never been enough. Comb at least performing finally up to what we expected. So far, he has 177 EPS, +2 on the trade differential, +2 on entry. About as good as you can ask. We're also seeing Zave, the Zave player of cells, the man who is expected to kind of rule the entirety of the league, or luckily this game, performing pretty bad here. 0-0 on entry, not the numbers you need from him. A donut in a game this important is not the play, and you really need to get around on the board here, as you cannot let time just kind of wind down. You find one if you're dollar here, maybe a chance, and finally, it took you a while, but there's a round on the board, and we're not going to look for a repeat of last, or Skyscraper. Oh, well, everyone here is not what I expected. Shady, Sprays, Aquino, and Sid. Some people that I haven't ever talked to, some people that I know very well. Got a bit of a variety here
Attackers need to locate
for
and
Champions
defuse
Playoffs.
as
And for a
many
game
bombs as
that is not really that like crazy on the list nonetheless. It's first round D2 playoffs. I like D2 as much as the next guy, but I didn't expect these numbers. I was expecting like 5 viewers, man. These some tough times over here. 5 viewers, maybe a light little, I don't know, something else. As Drake has draked on me, and we no longer have our co-caster. We must go onward and try to at least have a little bit more, as Voltage hope to close it out in a 5-1, maybe do the exact same thing as Skyscraper, but this time we don't throw 5 rounds to Zave. Instead, we hopefully close out in regulation. Zave obviously looking for a half that is not as miserable as Skyscraper, and maybe hoping for not the need to have a 5-round comeback. Those are always nice when they do happen, but I guarantee you it's not exactly calming when you have to win 5 straight. No matter how good of a masterclass it is from one player. So far, Trell apparently plans to be the large force downs, or on the first floor at least. Because why have your roamers do it when your roamer can sit on spiral stairs instead? Dean grabs that first pick and getting what feels to be the, not regrettable, but the perennial trash can in this game is, if there's any person to win worst player of the game, it would be this man. Like a .14 averaging, not what you'd hope in a 3v4. Zave finally have an advantage that looks like it can be held onto, and with Amonsi able to kind of just shove himself in these annoying situations, clear as much space as he needs, and probably get yourself a pretty good plan if you want it. As if you are banded here, you got to be so careful because pings can come out, so much can come your way, and I I think push is just like diminished at this point. I've seen more life from dead people. Actually, that's probably true. Combs in the corner, backed into what is easily one of the worst situations he could ask for, as he kind of needs to find everything himself here. Drabat at least grabs one, but with the Monty running at him, all it takes is one bad shot. In this case, one good one for Vontae. This one looks to be all but over. There's finally some life into Zave after a very, 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 very underwhelming first half. But when in doubt, never count anyone out. We learned that with Zave. We've learned that with Now. Comb at 2 HP, maybe hoping for a finish. But instead, he tries to go for the sneaky post-plant kill, and he gets caught out. Choose outcome, voltage. I forgot I can do another prediction. Who's winning map 3? Actually, good question. Who is winning it? Let's do... Yes. And there we go. Prediction is up. Despite how very, very, very behind some of my game is. A 90-second delay. Wild. Obviously, both teams would love to finish it out here now and maybe have something a little bit better to work with, as that is what you'd hope for in the end. Just a little bit more life into your team, a little bit more life into the game. And Zave looking to hopefully have the upset as the lower seed by, I think, round differential, because these teams have the same win record, same points. It is literally just all down to who won more rounds, which would be Voltage by like a large margin, actually, I think. When they won big. Just when they lost, don't look at it too much. They've averaged like a 7-4 in their games, I want to say. Zave averaged like a 7-5, 7-6. Or 8-6, sorry. Honestly, it has been a very vanilla game where we're not seeing these crazy plays from either side. And I think it's because everyone's kind of settled in, and also because it is midnight in Central Time for me, or at least for them, it should be realistically around 11. That alone is really pushing how late you truly can go and how much you got in the tank, because you expected this game to be over much earlier. This game was at 10 Eastern. You'd plan to finish it out there, and then instead we're 2 hours in and not really looking for what you'd hope. Almost approaching 3 here, and it's very possible we hit that mark. That's 27 viewers. Thank you to all of you that are watching. This has been unbelievably long and had some of the weirdest rounds we've ever seen, and also more TKs than I think I've ever seen in one game ever. But apparently this game is not for the weak, and also pushes Cronus. That man has everything in him. Overall, let's see, once again, what feels like a very bland and standard play. You do have, I think, the players that are unexpected downstairs, where you have, out of all people, your Jaeger, your Legion, and your Valkyrie. That I'll admit is a little bit unique. You will not generally see 3 players downstairs, so at least there's some variety, but we do see one weapon from Dean, one particular item that is hated by all, except by the one man that crutches that shit better than anyone else. You know him as Charlie Worley. You hate the Legion shotgun, but you do at minimum respect the fact that he has like a 1.7 KD in SSL. He wipes kids on the floor with it, as annoying as it may be. And apparently, there might finally be a semblance of not even hope, but truly something to work with here, with a big whiff, and Ariel does clean it up in a 1v3. All you got to do is not throw here, but it's a big ask when you have literally everything on the board here. And we approach match point. Not quite there, but the lurk is coming, and if you're Zave, you are approaching that point where it's do or die, which is never a good situation you want to be in. In this situation, Voltage is actually one of the best statistics in do or die, which is a homemade stat, which equals... the acceptance of push being Cronus is crazy. But generally we're seeing most teams are worse, obviously, in the do or die, where you have you know, it's either overtime match point, or series point. So I think it's like last 3 rounds I count. And the logic to that is, you know, how do you do when your back is against the wall and you need to win now? In that situation, Voltage is one of the best. They also don't have a lot of time in that do or die. They generally end things earlier. This could be a very good situation to do that. Could also be a very bad situation for Zave, as I have some data for them in these later, you know, we need to win now or otherwise we go home. It's not a lot and it's not good either. Which is representative of the fact that Cells, the superstar of this team, is 0-6. 5 assists does help, but you do need to get your own downs here. Overall, I guarantee not the hope he was having. Hoping for maybe just a little bit more life in him, but instead it's going to be this, and we're going to twirl around and maybe hope for his big resurgence, but I feel like that's asking for, I don't know, New Vegas too, if you're a Fallout fan. An actually good ending to Game of Thrones. Push to not be accused of being Cronus every 3 seconds. The odds are slim. And not also that good for them. Or positive in that good way, but, you know, there's still chances. There's still this thing I like to call hope, where I have had numbers galore, but yeah, no, numbers can't predict a team winning 5 straight to bring them to overtime. That isn't prediction. That's just sometimes teams are on a roll. There's truly a great sense of like everything. It just feels like a team connects, and you'll see that sometimes. Could that be with Zave? Certainly. I mean, we saw them not even, you know, 2 hours ago win 5 straight. Is it likely? Also no. But you can also be both. And also seems that Zave already beat the odds by winning map 1 here. Dollar catches the first with what has been a notoriously long 9-28. That is sad. Okay, so even if you have diarrhea, gang, 9-28 is ridiculous. Are you playing on the toilet actively? This is like a genuine question. Is that why you're so bad? Do you have like a diaper on? I'm not even hating. I want to know at this point. What are the logistics here? Is that what he's doing in between rounds? Is that why he's AFK sometimes? Just a good play here. And the wall goes out a lot later than you'd hope, with your bad catching a bit of a freebie upstairs and maybe a little bit of hope given into the team. I am not going to validate or deny those Cronus allegations exactly. Has he been accused aplenty? Yes. Has he also been banned? I don't know. And even if he has, I still am not going to go down that road, because that's how you have issues. Okay, so maybe I got to put a little more leniency on my man Push here. Diarrhea, you're in the trenches. Apparently things are brown and not so fun. To be fair, he has a point there too. That's there. But finally, it seems that Zave might beat the statistics. They can actually win when it matters in that do or die situation. And there is a very large chance overtime is imminent. Also, what are the predictions at? Let's see. Voltage 100%. Damn. Well, I mean, I guess. Huh. They just can't even gain points because nobody betted on Zave. That's depressing. No one betting on Zave is crazy to me. Not like, you know, they won 6 straight one time and brought to team. Nah, Voltage got this trust. It's not like they've had generational throws before. Whatever. Maybe we'll see some actual consistency from a team that really, really needs it, because you either, you know, win here and win big, or you flop. You have to go to... Where is the... What is that drone spot? Jesus. Great, so I'm not finding that drone. It's hide and seek, but worse and more depressing. Okay, I'm keeping that though. That's a new quote, by the way, Zeno. I'm sorry I'm stealing that. He's shitting the bed. I'm saying that next time. I gotta say that after this
You know
game.
who else is shitting the bed? Cards when it comes to casting without the best co-caster in SSL, Drake and Love. Now that Drake and Love is back, you finally have entertaining casting. It's okay. Cells is still 0-6.
Finally!
Cells going to be 1-6. Finally going to
It's
drop
a
kill
prophecy.
Against,
It happened.
fuck, what is his name?
Trell.
No.
What?
Operators that I haven't played him.
Yeah, it's Trell. He's a new pickup for them.
No, that's Grim.
Yeah,
I'm
Trell.
gonna take out Grim. That's also
Oh.
a beautiful first pick for them. That's a bunch of util gone. That's Claymores or EMPs gone. That's
Push grabs a kill after finally being quiet and also apparently shitting the bed literally and physically. Or metaphorically.
Dang, what a pick out Push though.
Apparently he has apparently Push has diarrhea while playing and he's wearing a diaper. If that's true, that's actually hilarious, but
That
Push,
is
if Push
dedication.
is I don't think it's true, but if it is,
Imagine
that's wild.
squeezing one out mid gunfight. Oh. It's all dude, it's all mushy in there and
oh
stuff.
my god, it's true. The odds are right now that Push is gonna hit 30 deaths before he hits 10 kills in this game. That's sad.
Oh my
I get that we have shit
yeah,
in
you
the
gotta
bed, but
hate
like,
it up after that.
good lord,
Unless
get
he
some,
is sick,
yeah.
then it's fine. But if
Respectfully,
he's
but like,
actually-
either way, the second you get on
Man,
hand
this is gonna
cam
be
and
a
you start
hard
playing
push.
shotguns, I don't know, it's not a good look. Yeah, no, it's not looking pretty. You
No.
have not a lot to work with here, but
they
Free
have
Fire
the Goyos
galore
to
from
work
Superior.
with. Almost. Sophia gonna be taken out now. 4v2, 4v1. That's calling it your bad is going to be taken out by Vontae here.
Comb, who's certainly
Just
gone
come
big.
in a 1v4.
He's shown up before, but never to the point of a 1v4. And to be fair, this would give them the match point that they so desperately want. Keep, you know, a big round differential here and give them so much space to work with and not throw Skyscraper this time. Or, I suppose, Consulate. But you got to win this first, and that looks unlikely. They have a lot of bodies. I don't really think we're going to see anyone truly push them. Damn.
He's trying to get the pre-fire pick. Going to be taken out by Dala. We're going to see round numero...
You can.
I forgot to say 10, bro. I'm not even going to
DS.
find... DS. Yeah, I knew that. I was testing you. So, fill me in. I had a situation come up IRL, so that's what I've been doing.
Cells shit the bed when
Can
you
I
need
see
it
the
to.
round to see what happened?
What's
Round
it?
by round, real quick.
I don't have that up.
No, you just gotta
Oh.
press select game.
Oh, you mean that?
Okay. Oh, so I left when it was 4-0 then. Okay.
Yeah.
Solid split so far.
Yeah, no, someone's got to talk about voltage, though. I'm just realizing that is actually depressing. They got to go from beating Redemption. So they have Zave this week.
Oh,
They have Redemption next week. And then after that, if they win, they have to probably face 5.20 Wolves. That's just depressing. That feels like it's a beatdown waiting. Hey, maybe they beat all of them. They have the
Bilo
greatest underdog
said
run.
cards. He's 10-30 exactly now.
Yeah,
That
so
is
chalk
fucked.
it. Chalk it. Yeah, you might want to send that to SSL
That's
General real quick, because
such-
that's actually generational shit talk. Like, that's not even shit talking, that's just
That's-
shit. Literally and physically. Like, literally, metaphorically, it's just all shit. It's all brown. All in the red.
I honestly, it's not looking good for push. I personally would be mental chalked so hard right now. 10-30 in a BO3.
Against Zave,
That
who's
is-
supposed to be an underdog here. The only player that's,
I
like,
feel like-
really good is Cells. Or, like, shown that, at least.
I'm calling it. Cells is gonna get 3K this round.
You think
I
that's
got faith with
3K?
that Echo Shoddy and SMG.
God. Listen, he's pulling, guys. This is a new method.
Very
Do
nice.
what Push is
I knew
doing,
it.
but don't do it like Push is. So play the shotguns, just don't play them like Strip Push. So be like Charlie Worley instead, where you molest every single person he plays against with a leading shotgun.
Oh,
You'll lose the wall there if you are, you know, the team of Zave. Bit of a sad loss. You lose. And Push does at least put some value in. Maybe not on the kills, but he gets it somewhere. Comb, the madman upstairs, seeming to be the entirety of the roam clear, because who needs more than one player?
So might get an engagement here. Never mind, Souls will be backing off, running down yellow now. That's also gonna make Comb just waste his time up there. They're gonna be a little bit scared. Echo has the intel. Dejev TTV is playing Rainbow Six Siege now, if anyone wanted to know.
The
Might be able to
actual
call out.
go to this support player. But instead, we're going to see Cells.
Dejevin's a support player?
Technically, yeah, he is. I don't know how. He's a support flex. I don't know how that makes sense.
Team like gonna be taking out Charles. That's the Grim again! Taking down first, 2 rounds in a row.
Trowel is doing so good on the entry, so good, and then he threw it. Now he's oh, excuse me, he was never doing good. He's 0-3. My bad.
And now it's starting to look like a little bit of a loser round for. Is that voltage on blue? I don't fucking know.
Yep, and Cells grabs his shotgun kill
Yep.
to finally
I'm
put in
calling
some
the
value.
3K. I'm calling the 3K. I believe in it.
The shotgun
Cells.
belief is crazy, and maybe it'll work, and maybe I'll be proven wrong.
I'm going to
However,
be taking out the souls. That's
You'll
the
be
Romer
unlucky.
dead. IQ walks down the stairs, going to take out Pulse. It's now they have the slight.
And what looked oh so strong, it's suddenly very iffy. However, Dean makes sure to at least put in some value here. Make sure it's not too easy. 2v1 for your bad,
Going to
and
be taken down.
I've seen crazier things from a man, but
No nades, no drone. 20 seconds left, and he has to deal with all this vert here.
all it takes is one good shot, but
Sticky.
instead he sticks the plant, and
He's gonna get it off.
I don't think he knows where Dean is, though.
Does he know about Dean though?
He does not, and
And it won't matter.
apparently Voltage is in the
Huge
mood to
round for
chuck
Dean.
some throws, chuck some absolute, what could have been slam dunks. Instead, we're going to see in the span of, let's be 6 rounds, 5 of them go the way of Zave. And at this point, it's more concerning, because
No.
this is, like, sad. This has been 2 times now, where
If
they
you are
had...
voltage here, you have to take a attack timeout. I feel like when you lose 5-3 and go down 5 or go up 5-4, that's when you take attack.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't
allowed to
think
call it.
Them holding on to it
Yeah, they
is
can
a
call
good
it.
plan, and it doesn't look like they're even gonna call it here. They're just gonna let it play out. And I feel like that's gonna be a fatal mistake because they've lost all momentum. I don't believe they've won a round in what 3 or 4 rounds right now.
3.
3 rounds ago.
Miserable right now.
And now it's anyone's game. It can easily be pushed to OT, or either team could win in the next 2 rounds.
I think the problem here is that if you are Voltage, you need to win this because Zave, they don't have any playoff implications. They don't have any other league they're in playoffs in. This is the only one. Voltage, that's not true. You're going against Redemption literally within the next 4 days. 5 days.
Yeah, but to be fair, Redemption is not that good of a team. I mean, you got Sprays on there.
You,
I could probably
you do
outfrag
realize they're
him.
within
Actually,
the top...
matter of fact, I actually have receipts of screenshots of me winning against Sprays 1v1. So that just shows you my value on Redemption if I were to be picked up.
You're not... Dude, Redemption won't even exist next season.
I know.
As I say,
It's not looking good for them.
it's gonna be... Cody said this one, so I'm pretty sure it's...
Oh.
He's replacing Baris. His team is.
That's fine. Shit. I'll
Yeah.
probably.
You're gonna
I
try to
might
try
play-
out?
I might hoop for Redemption. I don't know. Get a little unk. We can get Scatter. It can be a team of unks. Scat,
Oh my god,
Recap,
Scatter,
Sprays.
Glad, you're gonna get X9, just like everyone there is like 35.
I don't think X9 is not 35. Nor do I think that Young Buck will ever hoop with me again.
X, what the
I
fuck
think
did
he's
you...
just on way better teams right now.
He's on 907 and I'm pretty sure he's
Oh.
gotten 1 game. Sells with easily one of the
Dang.
most ridiculous pick angles I've seen in a long time, to be fair. But I don't think it's too tight, it's not gonna matter, but Dean finds one.
Did they get that? Dean going to be taking out the Ram. That is huge. How many Rams did he get off? 1 or 2? Trell going to be taking out Dala. That's going to be their Goyle ground here.
That's 2.
It's 2.
So some vert, but not something we'd hope for. Now you're gonna have to rely on Push and his apparently currently exploding rectum fluid. Someone save this man. He's going through it all.
To be fair, alright, for Voltage though, this is the first round that they have had Graham on the almost jinxed it. Graham on the board, and he has not been first picked. So maybe that's what they've been needing these past 2 rounds, is this Graham to help push out these defenders. And it looks like they're going to start going for the plan here. Planting pillar.
And it might go off too, is the thing.
This should go off.
They get the plant down here, and you might grab some picks here, but is it really going to matter at this point? You can grab as many picks as you please, but you're not going to have to try to fight a very, very hard post plant.
And what the fuck? Castle just retook the vert. This is such a winnable round now.
And then Shrell takes 1, and at this point it feels like we're in a loop here. One drops down, try to fight the other. It's a 1v2.
Gosh.
All you got to do is not throw it.
Oh my gosh.
Just hold the verticality.
Oh, now they know he's up.
Instead, it ends in a trade.
Be able to lawn arm it. Cell's going to be taking out Comb. What a dude! What a fucking round! Oh my gosh, dude! What was that?
And Zave
what was that?
finally
This
have
is supposed to be D1.
series point.
What was that?
This is Champions D2. Don't worry, we're safe.
Oh, this is D2. Okay.
Champions D2.
So let's actually get an update on Push's overall KD. I think he's pushing 10 and 32. No?
10 and 31.
No,
10
that
and
was
32.
last round.
10 and 32. 10 and 32. My bad. Yeah, so he is officially, I think, the worst global KD I have ever. I think that's actually the worst KD in a playoff ever. That's not true.
I believe so.
At least in Black Ice, I know it's in Black Ice. I know it's like way up there.
For BO3.
I have to look through the stats because I don't know Black Ice as well, but I'm pretty sure that is statistically the worst BO3 KD ever. Like literally in the entirety of Champions League, including Black Ice. That's how bad this is. That is.
I just know that
that's
he's
so. He's never getting past this guy.
It's gonna be hard to. Yeah.
He's not like he's gonna have to beg for a starting spot next week against Redemption. Like, how do you even justify I went 10 and even if you're having active diarrhea, you're playing shotguns and you're failing miserably. You whiff shotgun shots. And apparently he's also dying on the spot. His Push is also AFK. Someone say Push. Bro, at that point, get a sub though. You have a fine enough sub roster. Like, why in the world are you taking the corpse of Push out when you have Gotti who's actively here? I like he was spectating beforehand. I don't know why. It feels concerning. At least we know where the Push is coming from, and it could have been so perfect if we just had a little bit of patience in him.
Alright.
Instead, Dean.
I'm back to casting. Sorry, I had to check up on my fucking dinosaurs on Ark.
Oh. Yeah. Just kidding. I don't play Ark, so I don't really know what that. I know what it is, but like not really.
It's peak. I play on PvE. I'm not sweating my life anymore. I'm not 14 anymore.
Yeah.
Can't do that shit.
I saw a mega base, and I'm pretty sure if I ever play Ark, it's gonna be PvE. I'm just fine. I'm fine being considered a bum.
I think they just blew up their own Twitch drone.
Yes, they did, and it feels like we are watching. I don't even know a game. I feel like it's the best way to put this. I've seen TKs.
Voltage.
An actively diarrheaing man who's dropping the worst global KD in history for a BO3. In console league history, more accurately.
Voltage needs to
seriously do something.
They need a relink and they need to play together. I feel like they keep on getting picked apart in these rounds, and they need
At
to
least you find one finally.
Do this, yes.
Yeah, who needs help when you can just shove it down their throat?
Dean's also gonna go down. Dala and Dean going to be picked off now. Now they're gonna be sub for a nice post plant.
And it looked impossible. Suddenly turns into.
Monte, and calling it is gonna take out. Fuck.
Everybody. Superior is now down to it all. 40 seconds left, and maybe you have a miracle in you to save your team or a crazy long snipe. But this one looks all but over. All you got to do here if you're the side of Voltage is don't throw bodies and It should be over. Hey, to be fair, you know something about that too.
So what?
Throwing bodies.
Nice. Actually no.
Really? I remember watching a certain Black Ice season and you guys sold a 1v3 to lose a round. Because I do know ball
Dude,
like
how
that.
do you... Holy shit.
Maybe
Am I the good
miracles
luck
do
charm?
happen, but not today, as all of our hopes are raised
never
and
mind,
then immediately
I'm
brought
gonna be
right
taking
back
it
down.
now.
Gotti, how are you retired? You've been a rep for literally a season. I'm retired because I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not even playing. I'm casting and coaching. You're still actively playing Siege. You play Siege and ranked. I'm a plat 0.7 only because I got carried by like it was Jeff Sicko and Charlie Worley at various times. Yeah, that's why I have a good win rate though. I can't even flex it. It's like a 1.1. It's not even that crazy. Hey, but like, hear me out. I'm pretty sure at this point we could put Flaxy in and you do better than push. Dots. Do you not know Flaxy like that?
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused. by
Put in the
attackers.
corpse of
Are you
like,
talking to me?
yeah. I feel like you could put in like stretch and it might actually be better than having pushing at this point.
Alright, to be fair, I don't know where this stretch hate is coming from.
He statistically has like a
I
0.6
personally
past
haven't
like 4
watched
weeks.
this game, but like, yeah, I mean,
I get
okay,
that like
he's not fragging out, but
a 0.6 is bad, like really
I know.
bad. That's only my thought. Like I get it, you know, we all have bad games and even bad weeks, but like over 4 weeks you have a 0.6. I don't think that he's been positive in all week. I mean, like, it's really hard to like really say. The last time he was positive was in MPL Grand Final. No, in was it MPL? It was MPL. Yeah, it was MPL free Grand. No, was it? I don't know. It was a league that was like random. It was versus.
yeah, but to be fair, I mean,
Wolves.
Stretch's role is
He's support now. He's not even IGL. Like, at least if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
He doesn't even IGL anymore. He's too washed.
Alright, I'm back.
Holy, you leave more than an absent father.
By attackers.
Or leave and come back more accurately.
Thank you.
That's not a thank you. Madman.
Okay. What do I do?
I'm gonna be honest, my energy for this cast has run out the second I see like TKs and I see someone dropping a 0.24 over genuinely the entirety of a BO3. In push, it was expected to be relatively
It
good.
makes you feel better. On my dinosaur game, they fucking neutered something I bought, so I can't breed it.
How did we go from casting a T3, or I guess kind of T3, console league semifinals, or not semifinals, round 1, I'm losing it. Oh my god, Stell's got to kill again. Guys, he's actually at a 0.5 now. He's no longer push level. Yeah, he's actually doing something, guys.
I told you he's locked. Y'all are hating.
You do realize he has a 0.5, right? In this game? I mean, I'm not saying
Shit,
anything because he has like a
I'll take
1.7 average on the other 2 games, but like still. Console is not his map.
What's your professional league KD in the playoffs? Oh wait.
I think no, I played like 1 game. I was like a 0.8, I think. But I also never play.
Exactly.
He subbed because they needed someone, not because I'm meant to be. And they did. I remember because they were asking about hand cams, and they hand cammed literally everybody on the team except me. I just don't even want to talk about it.
That's very kind.
I felt hurt. I felt hurt at that point. That's like saying Flaxy, like he's literally on the hand cam list. There's a note for Flaxy that says
That's
don't
like
even.
hand camming me. That's an insult. You know, like
Yeah.
shit. Everyone knows I'm roller. You don't.
That's like
I don't
no.
think actually.
I think the worst is someone tried to. I genuinely
been
heard someone was trying to hand
accused
cam
of
Matsumitsu. The
I
dude
mean,
that streams
that's
it.
just for the love of the game.
It's
Oh
just-
my
it's just for the
gosh,
hate.
He could get fucking 2 on the flank. How are they letting these fat operators flank them? That's 2. That's 2 base. Oh my. Dean with the triple kill.
At this point, maybe I
Using
just
the vert, going to find.
they're weak to the
Oh,
tortoise,
pillar.
and that is
Oh,
the
what
first
do you
round of
say to that?
overtime, and we have Zave match point.
Goodness.
After a not so strong map 2, one of the greatest comebacks we've ever seen in console playoffs. We're finally approaching the oh so elusive.
I do want to
match
point
point.
out, this was very winnable for Voltage. I think,
Well, no shit. Look at the.
I just strongly believe that if they were to have taken that tack time out 5-4, this could have been a completely different outcome for them. I think they're fucking up. I think they're mental shocked, and I think
Try way. We don't gotta talk about that, KD.
Horse went 2-9 versus me.
No.
Wait,
We
forget.
don't gotta talk about those.
So can you elaborate this 2-9 performance?
It was one game in SSL D2 because I was on E-Daters. Yes, that's an actual team name. It has a keynote. No, I was not. I was not eating
I
anybody.
remember you were eating Vex 8.
All right, bro. Like this is some slander. Some slander, I say. But no, I was in a singular game. No comment. I was in a singular game. I was in one game on E-Dater Central is the name of the team, I think, at the time. And I went 2-9.
On that team.
And you know, it was 2 games back to back. It was 2-9, and then it was like 4 and 7. All right, bro.
6-7.
All right, shut up. This is why you're no co-caster, bro.
I feel bad for. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, hold on. Who would be a worse co-caster? Icy Welly's hot or Icy Welly's blackout drunk, or not even below. Because that's like kind of fun.
Which Icy?
The Mexican one.
Oh, I don't think I've ever met him.
Really? So who'd be like the worst? I'm trying to think of who'd be a bad co-caster because they'd like speak too much shit. Like Buddha's chill. Like all the
like
main
anyone that's
superstars.
not mature.
So what? Charlie Whirly?
Literally
Charlie Whirly
anyone
co-caster?
Not mature.
Charlie Whirly co-caster might be
I
the
didn't
play
want to
game.
name drop, but
I am. Hey, me and him are chill. We no hate over here.
I feel like casting is a unk thing, though. You really gotta enjoy fucking. This shitty-ass
Well,
game.
yeah, dude. I made my
Take
own
that.
stat for Siege. I'm pretty sure I enjoy numbers and nerdy shit. I actively do my own formulas half the time. Do you know how nerdy to say that is? Actually, I calculate the cost myself.
All that, by the way, folks, have a negative KD.
Shut, bro.
Ain't
So
gonna be taking out
stop
Kanye
reading
or
the chat,
Bad-
bro. Stop reading the chat. Just at this point, just don't read the Twitch chat, bro. You don't gotta read that. Don't worry.
Auto went 1-9, I think.
Damn.
Average.
Oh,
Ooh,
and apparently
Cell's
Zave
gonna
might finally close it out.
vaunt
But
it.
without making
Oh
it
my
unbelievably
gosh.
close as Yings go out, and you just want to hope for this if you're Zave. You want to hope you don't have to bring it to regulation twice in a row in max. You hope to close it out 6. I'm saying it. I'm gonna bait it.
Actually,
6,
StarCraft
7.
Finals, we shouldn't have unlimited.
It isn't unlimited over time. It'd be max, so it'd just be 15.
Oh, that's what you meant. Sorry, I'm on.
Yeah.
Back in my day, bro.
Back in
Back
your
in my
day.
day, we didn't even have this platform for League.
back in-
I didn't play in League, but I watched it.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, 30 people in a stream or 24.
Doxed him.
That's not bad. I expected like
something to be
5
coming
because
out.
it's like a D2 playoff game, but I love the hate. Or I love the hate. I love the hate is crazy.
They knew Dragon Love was co-casting. They had to pull up. They
Alright, bro.
knew the talent was here. 30 seconds left. This is going to be a little bit tricky here because the Lean's not going to be able to enter with these smoke canisters.
But apparently, screw that.
Smoke's
Enter
in the
anyways.
bathroom. Fuck it.
And in a 2v1 for literally all the marbles.
Oh,
Instead,
1v2. Oh my gosh.
we're going to max regulation
What are they doing? They're
twice
selling my parlay.
in a singular BO3. That's actually absurd. This is almost close to the max rounds. We had 15 rounds, map 1. We had, what was it? 7-5, so it'd be 12 rounds. So 15
12,
rounds,
you got
map
it.
1. 12 rounds, map 2, and then this is going to be 15 rounds. This might be actually one of the most ridiculous
Why?
stats I've ever seen. Like, just in terms of numbers. Like, how does this even happen?
11 and 34, by the way.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
We
as
played
many
almost
bombs
every single... No, I just want to point out, despite how weird this game has been, we have played almost every single available round. That is absurd. That is actually diabolical. Because now we're gonna see 15 rounds, twice in a singular BO3. I don't think I've ever even seen that once. That's not true. I've seen an 8-7, but like, you don't ever see it where it goes this close consistently. Instead, we get what should be the most beautiful round. Actually, I'm gonna quickly add everyone in champions, and I'm gonna get complaints because it's add everyone.
Why would you at people? By the time they tune in, that shit's gonna be over.
No.
Yes.
To be fair, max rounds is... And did Vante just try to... There's no way, right? Like...
What the fuck?
You do realize this is like max rounds, right? If you lose, you go home. And we just see Forder on Bandit. I
think he was hoping to try and get that kill on Repel, but that's wishful thinking.
That's LeBuns. I gotta get Cash App. I don't have Cash App, and everyone uses Cash App.
Alright, okay.
I'm younger than you. You're like 22. I just turned 16. And what could be a bit of a freebie here, all you gotta do is wait for the right time, and maybe you catch cells.
I think you might be on hard. Yeah, he's on hard floor though.
It's gonna be really close. They had nades too, I think. Yeah,
they don't know Paul
IQ had nades.
Oh wait, cell's gonna be swinging out.
But you catch out cells. Can you finish it? That was the bigger question. Even if you missed the nade, I think.
Nade's gonna go out.
He's barely gonna. He's gonna live.
He does miss it.
I don't know how. Apparently, he's just scraggling his way there.
Mistake for voltage here, and there goes both of IQ's nades. They're down to just 5
minute 30 and
drones, but they're not really using these drones.
I think the big thing though is we're at a minute 30 and there's still no pick-in yet. You've gotten downs and damage galore, but you genuinely haven't gotten someone. I think that's the more surprising part is apparently in a round so important, we're going to leave it up to the last 45 seconds of mass confusion.
They're starting to execute here.
Come on, Drake, get ready for this. I'm going to have to say shit like 12 times fast because one goes out and everyone's going to die.
Fuck, dude. I'm not ready for this.
Trell finally grabs the first after
they have
the first one in the entirety of the round, and now he officially hits his 16th kill. What is, I'm pretty sure, a career for him. One of the newest pickups, performing well. Deanway grabs another, hitting 15. We're all trying to hit our best kill records here, apparently. Dropping those crazy numbers. In a 4v3, immediately brought down to a 3v4 by Vante. Everything down to that last little second as Trell makes sure it's close. One of the new players putting in the most work here, and you don't want to leave it close here. You don't want to leave it something so important, down to just one round, down to just a defuse. All it takes is one good pulse, and you're going to see everybody. All it takes is just a little bit of comms, a little bit of luck, and in a 3v2, you need to see cells go big here. With no echoes in hand, he dies, and a post plan for Vante. He needs to be perfection here. He grabs one at least. Damage onto two. It's still plausible. The chance is still there, but
what the hell is he?
You need to have perfection here, and I don't know what the plan is here.
What a crazy flank.
He's trying to actively hop in, maybe? Apparently, we're going for the crazy shit on the most important round. And instead, it's caught out in Voltage. After pushing their limits, pushing their luck, and I think arguably doing as bad as they possibly could with one player, they come out, and we finally see Voltage cleared out after a lengthy 15-round overtime. That was...
I just want to highlight that ads just happened match points and no one got to watch
No way, bro. I didn't even... No way! Watch the VOD, I guess. Watch the VOD. That's so painful.
Watch the VOD is crazy.
Off this shit, bro. Get me the fuck off this shit.
My fucking artist.
That was a beautiful game. Glad to watch it, and that'll be all for tonight.